presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Arizona.
A season-high 4 straight wins at home. One more tonight, and the D-backs will have their longest home winning streak in more than 3 years. It's our special Go Gold fundraising broadcast tonight as the Diamondbacks look to make it 2 straight wins over Los Angeles. It's the D-backs and the Dodgers on Fox Sports Arizona. Good evening from Chase Field and welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthiaume and Bob Brenly along the way. Game 2 of 4, D-backs and Dodgers. Your pitching matchup tonight. Kenta Maeda on the mound for LA, and for the Diamondbacks, Zach Greinke. Bob, last time Zach faced the Dodgers, it didn't go too well.
Well, not too well at all. He beat him earlier this season, but last time out at Dodger Stadium, 3 innings, 6 strikeouts. Everything was looking good, then gave up a 2-run bomb in the 4th. Before we knew what had happened, 6 runs on 6 hits in the 5th, and he was out of the ball game.
Yeah, that was Labor Day a week ago Monday. Gave up 8 earned runs on 9 hits, including 5 home runs. And so we'll try and put that start behind him and snap a 2-game losing streak. This bodes well for the Dodgers, Bob. They're on a long road trip right now. They went through Miami, then New York, and played the Yankees. Now here they're 3-4 so far, and the offense is it's not on the trip with them.
Yeah, non-existent. They've been shut out twice already on this road trip. The interesting thing is the Dodgers went into this road trip 4 games up on the Giants. They go into play tonight 4 games up on the Giants.
4 games ahead of San Francisco with only 16 to play. We're getting down to it, and we are just about set to go. The D-backs and the Dodgers. Don't forget, it's our big Go Gold fundraising telecast tonight. First pitch coming up next on Fox Sports Arizona. Arizona Diamondbacks baseball on Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you by CenturyLink. Switch to CenturyLink Prism TV for an advanced TV experience. Learn more at cprismtv.com. By Jack in the Box. Taste the all-new Double Jack Burger today, only at Jack in the Box. By Oregano. Step up to the plate for a guaranteed home run at Oregano's, your neighborhood pizza joint, location statewide. And by your Valley Honda dealers, where to get more standard features for less money. Backs baseball on Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you by Lone Butte Casino. Get in on big wins. By Chaz Roberts Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Choose Chaz. And by MidFirst Bank. True to your money. Well, don't forget, fans, tonight's ball game is about beating these LA Dodgers. It's also about our Go Gold fundraiser for Phoenix Children's Hospital. We are raising funds for Goldie's Funds for Kids and the Center for Cancer and Blood Disorders at PCH. A special night here at the ballpark and a special broadcast. We'll be back right after this. Welcome to another gorgeous Friday night in downtown Phoenix, Arizona. And that means Diamondbacks baseball with the roof and panels open. A lovely night at Chase Field for the second of a four-game series against Dave Roberts' LA Dodgers. The D-backs tonight looking for their first five-game winning streak at home in more than 3 years. And they'll have to beat this lineup to get it.
You couldn't have picked a better time to get hot here against the Los Angeles Dodgers. Try to slow down their run to the postseason. Here's how they will line up tonight. Chase Utley once again at second base. Corey Seager at shortstop. Justin Turner at third base with Adrian Gonzalez at first. Yasmani Grandal doing the catching. Josh Reddick out in right field. Howie Kendrick getting the start in left tonight. Jock Peterson out in center field. And Kenta Maeda, the right-hander, on the mound.
Your Arizona Ford starting pitcher for the Diamondbacks is Zach Greinke. 12-6 with a 4.54 ERA. He's lost his last two starts, beaten by the Giants here at Chase Field over the weekend, although it seemed a matter of simply just barely missing a few spots and some key at-bats in that ball game. He did walk 4 for the first time all year, but his start previous to that was a different story. 5 home runs given up to these Dodgers a week ago Monday in LA. 4 of those home runs coming in 1 inning.
Yeah, really puzzling. Zach just said everything was flat, couldn't locate his pitches, a lot of mistakes right in the middle of the zone. I mentioned he did beat the Dodgers earlier this year. Former D-back Mike Bolsinger started that game for the Dodgers. In that one, Zach went 7 strong innings, gave up only 2 earned runs.
D-backs with the home alternate Teal on tonight. Let's take a look at the Diamondbacks defensively. It's brought to you by Nationwide Vision Centers.
Brandon Drury red hot. He'll be getting the start in left field. Mitch Haniger in center field. Yasmani Tomas over in right. Lamb, Owings, Segura, and Goldschmidt third to first across the infield, with Wellington Castillo back behind the plate for right-hander Zach Greinke.
Chris Conroy has the balls and strikes tonight. He's behind the plate. The crew chief Jerry Meals is our first base umpire tonight. Ryan Blakeney at second, and Ron Kolpa is at third. Dodgers come into tonight holding a 4-game lead over the Giants atop the National League West with only 16 to play. The Giants are at home tonight against the St. Louis Cardinals. Chase Utley steps in to lead it off, and we are underway on a Friday night at Chase Field. He laces the first pitch he sees fair down the right field line. A long run for Yasmani Tomas, who is well off the line. But Chase Utley will play it safe. It's a leadoff double. Good job by Yasmani to hustle over there and get that one back in. It looked like Utley was going to head for third there.
Shortstop number 5, Corey Seager.
Jumping on that first pitch, knowing Zach Greinke likes to get ahead in the count and then go to work expanding the zone, and Utley just didn't allow that to happen. Jumps on that first fastball and rips it down into the right field corner.
Look at how far Tomas had to come over based on where he was positioned, and was able to keep Utley at second. A leadoff double brings up Corey Seager. 23rd double this year for Utley. Seager singled and struck out last night. He was 1 for 4, batting .316 with 25 home runs. 25 homers, the most ever by a Dodger shortstop, and the third most ever by any LA rookie, behind only Mike Piazza and Jock Peterson. Peterson batting 8th tonight. Curveball is in the dirt, and it's 1-1. Wellington Castillo back behind the plate after a couple of nights off. He had some leg soreness, so Chip Hale gave him the last game against the Rockies off, and last night against the Dodgers. Tuffy Gozawish caught the ball game last night. Tuffy had a single and a walk. He scored a run. Look out. The bat almost killed Justin Turner. That was really, really scary. That just missed him.
Well, not only that, it just missed Justin Turner and somehow snuck through the netting over there on that first base side in foul territory.
Almost hit Baxter too. Look at how close this bat comes to Turner. Wow.
Yeah, just hit perfect, handle first or barrel first, and snuck through. There you go, right there.
Call maintenance.
Somebody get some duct tape. We can fix that.
Boy, just the other day we saw a line drive foul go backward and hit Brandon Drury when he was in the Diamondback on deck circle. How about our crew chipping in? Nice job. Tried to do that one-handed though while you're holding a camera. That's another story.
And stay there for 9 innings.
Yeah. Boy, Seager's been a problem for the D-backs all year long. He's sitting about .350 against Arizona this year. 3 home runs, 10 RBIs in 16 games.
2 of those 3 home runs have come against Zach Greinke. He's 5 for 6 against Greinke this season. That's an .833 batting average with 2 homers.
Zach's ahead 1-2. Change up, a hard one, is in the dirt, and Castillo almost threw it into left field. A nice play there by Jake Lamb. Otherwise, Utley comes in with the game's first run.
Yeah, definitely saved a run right there for the time being. Wellington trying to throw on the move. The only chance he had to possibly get Utley at third base. And his throw is pulled back into foul territory. Nice reaction that time by Jake Lamb. Wow.
Greinke spiked that changeup. A wild pitch. It's 2-2 with Utley now at third. Still no outs. Zach Greinke grunting on that big curveball, gets the strikeout, and that's the first out tonight. Time now, BB, for your Valley Honda dealers. Key to the game.
Well, baseball's very important, and there are a lot of keys to this game for the Diamondbacks, but the key tonight is to go gold. Everybody's going to have an opportunity to do some real good tonight and get some good stuff along the way.
That's right. We are going gold for Phoenix Children's Hospital, raising funds for Goldie's Fund for Kids and the Center for Cancer and Blood Disorders at Phoenix Children's Hospital. And you are encouraged to call 602-462-3899 or log on and give at dbacks.com/giveback. We have some prizes for your donation. Some of them are very, very good prizes. As Justin Turner, this is a curveball for strike one. Turner 271. He leads the Dodgers 27 homers and 82 RBIs. Infield is in for the Diamondbacks with Utley at third and one out. If you do donate, fans, you can make two types of donations. One for $44 for Goldie, obviously. And for that, you'll receive a mystery baseball autographed by a current Diamondback player, a $100 donation. And you get a tremendous prize package. A Goldie photographic print and brand new Goldie bobblehead. These are not available to the public. You have to donate to get this Goldie bobblehead. It's a great bobblehead, by the way. He's at first base with his glove on. You'll get a commemorative Go Gold Goldie t-shirt, a bottle of authentic Chase Field dirt, and an autographed mystery ball from a D-backs player, all for $100, and all the money goes to benefit PCH and Goldie's Fun for Kids. And the crew at Fox Sports Arizona in the pregame show did a sensational job in driving home the message that we're trying to get across to all you fans here tonight, the urgent need for your help, as the Diamondbacks continue to do an amazing job supporting Phoenix Children's Hospital. Turner battling at 1-2. A lot of breaking balls and off-speed pitches from Zack Greinke so far, very early in the game. Curveball, slider, changeup.
Well, I think that's because of what the Dodgers did to him last time out, and what Chase Utley and Corey Seager both did to start their at-bats, looking for that first pitch close to the strike zone, knowing that Zack Greinke's a big-time strike thrower, and they're going to try to ambush him.
Yeah, Utley's leadoff double already, his fourth hit in the series. Turner sends one out to right. Tomas on the run. Yasmani can't get it. It gets to the wall. Utley scores to make it 1-0. Turner in high gear heads for third. The relay from Segura is high. It's an RBI triple for Justin Turner. That's the second ball tonight that's gotten into that deep right field corner that Tomas had to run a long way to get to.
Fastball that was actually a little bit off of that outside corner, just out of the reach of Yasmani Tomas. I thought they had a chance at Turner at third base. Unfortunately, Gene Segura's relay throw sailed high, and that gave Turner enough room to get in underneath.
A double and a triple started off for the Dodgers with one out. A run is in. Turner 90 feet away, and here's Adrian Gonzalez. Fastball is ball one. Gonzalez 285 and 17 home runs. He was 0 for 4 last night, and he's gone without a hit for 3 straight games now. And a quiet series earlier this week in Yankee Stadium, just 1 hit in 3 games. 1-1.
And we mentioned it already. I think you'll see the Dodgers be very aggressive early in counts, and I also think you'll see them try to hit the ball to the opposite field. They know that Zack Greinke rarely makes mistakes on that inside part of the plate where you can really take a good pull swing at it. So look for the Dodgers to possibly try to go opposite field against Zack Greinke as well.
Well, Zach was convinced that 2 starts ago in LA, when he gave up the 5 home runs, that the Dodgers had a plan against him. And Gonzalez, who's at the plate right now, sort of fessed up to that. They knew that eventually Greinke was going to keep mixing it up, and he would go to a particular pitch or a particular sequence, and that really came back to bite Zach, and they were ready for him when they did get their pitch. And so he's trying to give him tonight, it looks like, a different look and a different mix. Another slow curveball. Yasmani Grandal, the catcher, on deck. Squirts through Castillo, and Turner will score. Went back to the breaking ball, and it got behind Wellington. 2-0 LA.
And a hard slider down and in. Well, he just didn't get the mitt all the way down to the dirt that time. Left just the slightest window underneath that glove, and sure enough, that ball snuck underneath.
Pass ball charged to Wellington. Castillo brings in the second Dodger run. So a wild pitch and a pass ball. Already in this inning, 2 runs are in. Still just 1 out and a full count on Gonzalez. So the Diamondbacks bring the infield back and go into the shift. Greinke walks the Dodger first baseman. 3 of the first 4 have reached against Zach tonight. That brings up the catcher Grandal.
Catcher, number 9, Yasmani Grandal.
And you can make a mistake to this guy. Got very, very big power from the left-hand side. 226 and 25 homers. Singled and struck out twice last night.
Grandal hit a home run in that fateful 5th inning at Dodger Stadium in Zach's last start against this team. A line drive right down the right field line.
Again, a breaking ball. This was Grandal. Labor Day at Dodger Stadium. 25 homers, 22 coming as a left-hand hitter. Boy, he is really sticking with that curveball. Beautiful night at the ballpark here in downtown Phoenix. Glad you're with us on Fox Sports Arizona if you couldn't be here. Our special Go Gold for Phoenix Children's Hospital broadcast with Fox Sports Arizona. Now that's that hard Greinke changeup in the dirt. 2 ways you can donate, fans. 602-462-3899 or log on to dbacks.com/giveback. And if you go onto the website, they do have a great outline of everything you get with the $100 donation. The Goldie bobblehead, the mystery ball, the photographic print, bottle of dirt, the special Go Gold Goldie t-shirt, all for only $100, and it all goes to PCH. Fastball's a strike, and it's 3-1.
And you might be like me. My wife has given me specific instructions. Don't bring home anything I have to dust. So if you're not really interested in the prizes, but you want to get involved with Phoenix Children's Hospital, we'd be glad to take your donations for that as well. Any amount.
Good call. Goldie. They get 1 and they get 2. Boy, did Greinke need that. Nobody does that better than Paul Goldschmidt. But the Dodgers score first. It's 2-0 LA. D-backs coming up against Kenta Maeda. trailing 2-0. And now they'll face your Arizona Ford starting pitcher for Los Angeles. It's Kenta Maeda. 14-9 this year with a 3.28 ERA. Maeda has won 6 of his last 9 starts, and the Diamondbacks tonight, Bob, facing Kenta Maeda for the 6th time this year.
How about that? Yeah, this guy's a handful. We know from past experience. He's liable to throw any pitch to any hitter in any situation in any count.
Leading off for the D-backs.
Let's take a look at the lineup for Chip Hale's D-backs as they look for 5 straight wins.
Gene Segura making his way to the plate. He'll be at second base. Chris Owings at shortstop. Paul Goldschmidt down at first base. Jake Lamb at third with Wellington Castillo catching. Yasmani Tomas in right. Brandon Drury in left. Mitch Haniger out in center field, and Zach Greinke on the mound.
By the way, fans, already Diamondback fans are doing a tremendous job. We've raised in 1/2 inning $33,000.
Nice.
As part of our Go Gold for Phoenix Children's Hospital broadcast, and we'll be taking your donations throughout the ball game. Debbie Castaldo will join us coming up shortly to talk about matching funds and all the efforts the Diamondbacks have done in the community with PCH. So stay tuned for that as Segura takes strike 1. 6th in the league in hitting at .315. The homers and RBIs are both career highs. Gene leading the National League in hits, but last night was 0 for 3. Did have a base on balls. As he chases a 200 hit season, he's at 182 right now. The only 200 hit seasons in Diamondbacks history. In fact, they've only had one. That was Gonzo. In 1999, Gonzo had 206. So this is game 147, and Segura is at 182 hits. Look out. Fastball got away from Maeda. And you'll recall what happened last night with Archie Bradley and Rich Hill. Rich Hill was asked a lot about that confrontation with Archie after the ball game last night and said he probably just wanted to throw a strike. I was a little competitive there. I was a little worked up and it got the best of me. So he sort of owned that, which I thought was classy of him. Just a bad moment, heat of competition, that kind of thing. But it was hard to figure out exactly what his beef was there for a while. There's Rich Hill.
Well, the location of the pitch itself put him in a hazardous position as he tried to bunt that ball for a base hit. Kind of came right at his kneecap. Somehow he got the bat on it and bunted it back into fair territory.
But was yelling at Archie as he was running up the first base line, and the benches and the bullpens empty. 2-2 on Segura. Gene chases a slider in the dirt. One away. Let's take a look at the Dodgers defensively. That's brought to you by Nationwide Vision Center.
An outfield left to right of Howie Kendrick, Jock Peterson, and Josh Reddick. Justin Turner at third base, Corey Seager at shortstop, Chase Utley over at second, and Carlos Gonzalez, the veteran, over at first base with Yasmani Grandal behind the plate for right-hander Kenta Maeda. And you've seen already a lot of sliders. First batter of the game.
He loves that slider. In fact, earlier in the year they were afraid he wouldn't throw his fastball because the bat speed of the major league hitters caught him by surprise a bit. So he stuck with that slider and became somewhat slider dependent. And he throws another one there to Owings for strike 1.
Yeah, he's got a couple of different fastballs. Occasionally a 2-seamer when he's looking for a ground ball, a high 4-seamer, that slider, curveball, occasional changeup.
There's a changeup. 1-1 to Chris Owings, who had an RBI single last night. He continues to hit back in the 2-hole and hitting .285 now with 3 home runs. Chris is hit safely in 11 of his 13 games in September. He's hitting almost .360 this month. Here's the Maeda slider, and it's 1-2. Roof and panels open up tonight. The alternate home teal is the order of the day. Fastball fouled away, and it's still 1-2 on Chris Owings.
Maeda throws so many sliders and will mix in the occasional slow curveball on top of that. It sometimes catches you by surprise when he does throw a hittable fastball.
You're right. Well, the D-backs did just see Maeda 2 starts ago. That was the Greinke game at Dodger Stadium when he gave up the homers. Maeda was very good in that start. 6 1/3, gave up only 3 hits and had 8 strikeouts. He got the win in that ball game. Owings able to hold off another Maeda slider, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Goldie on deck. 6 times they faced Kenta Maeda. Previous 5 starts, he's 2-1 with a 3.18 ERA. He struck out 28 Diamondbacks this year and walked only 4. Theo got a fastball but couldn't do a whole lot with that one. It stays 2-2. Most starts against the Diamondbacks all time. 6 is the record. Haven't seen a guy 6 times in 1 year since Matt Cain 5 seasons ago with the Giants. Ubaldo Jimenez is starting tonight for Baltimore. They beat Tampa Bay 5-4. Red Sox are beating up on the Yankees 7-2. They're in the 8th. There's another slider. 2 batters, 2 strikeouts for Maeda.
Sliders away, fastball on the corner away, sliders away again, just consistently dotting that outside corner and a little bit farther off the corner, getting swings and misses from Chris Owings.
Not a lot of lateral movement to that Maeda slider, is it? It's more of like almost like a split finger fastball.
It's more his command of the pitch than the action on the pitch itself that makes it so effective. He rarely leaves that ball over the middle of the plate where you could get a good swing at it.
Paul Goldschmidt. Skies one up, foul ground, first base side. Gonzalez near the dugout, and he's got just enough room. A 1-2-3 inning for Kenta Maeda. Diamondbacks down 2-0.
With you, Dodgers with a 2-0 lead. Had a chance to talk to Justin Turner before the game. Speaking of the game against Greinke just 11 days ago, he said it was kind of strange in the early afternoon, early start time. There were some shadows, couldn't really see the ball. When the sun set, though, they felt like they could really see the ball. They were able to capitalize on mistakes made by Zach in that game. We know what happened, the 5 home runs. But he also said, look, I would sit next to Zach if I wasn't playing in a game and he wasn't pitching, of course. I would pick his brain. And so they make no bones about it. They want to take advantage of being familiar with Greinke.
Josh Reddick gets one in the air out to left field. Brandon Drury, a long run, and he makes a great diving catch. Brandon Drury, go get it. Boy, Reddick carved that one opposite field right down the line, and Brandon Drury had to go a long way over to get that one.
Yeah, long run, and that ball slicing away from him the entire time. Never breaks stride, gets over near the foul line. What a great diving catch by Brandon Drury.
He always brings the want. Been playing infield his whole life. Pressed into emergency outfield duty all year long, and he's really worked hard. Howie Kendrick now. Kendrick 267, 8 home runs. He struck out as a pinch hitter last night. Drives one to right. Ross plays it on a hop. Stop the presses. Howie Kendrick with a base hit against the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, to right field. What a shot.
Hard to believe.
He is such a consistent professional hitter. It's amazing when he goes hitless.
Well, you and I, this may be the one time that we're not losing our minds, but we were right. It was the first time last night that Jock Peterson had that face guard on, and I know you did some investigative work as to exactly why.
Well, actually, Bill Plummer, the Orange County Register, talked to Jock Peterson about that guard, and he said he wears it for a really special reason.
What is that exactly?
It makes him look cool. That was his quote to the Orange County Register. He said it makes him feel like Brian Urlacher.
Going to run out to the mound and tackle Greinke.
I don't know.
Peterson 245 and 22 home runs. He had a single last night, 1 for 3. Good curveball from Greinke. He's ahead of Peterson 0-2. There's the defensive alignment for the Diamondbacks. Dave Roberts was asked about the Peterson face guard last night. He just kind of shrugged and said, well, I guess he's experimenting. You'll have to ask him more about it. Get one of those custom design models that Giancarlo Stanton has. Well, he is. Zach Greinke has been so far all curveball, slider, changeup. Very few fastballs. He's walked one, he struck out one, given up 2 runs on 3 hits.
Saw that thumb come out from Wellington Castillo. That's a universal sign for a pick to first base. Diamondbacks do have another set of signs that they'll use with the runner at first base, where you see the hook 'em horn sign, the index finger and the little finger, and then either a 1, 2, 3, or 4, depending on what pickoff play they want to run, how long they want the pitcher to hold the ball on the mound.
Another curveball from Greinke, and he gets his 2nd strikeout.
Really changing speeds on this curveball. Some are a little harder, stay in the strike zone a little bit longer. Some are soft and have a lot more break, get the hitters out in front.
The pitcher, Kenta Maeda, he can hit a little bit. He's got a home run. Had one in spring training. Actually bet Dave Roberts' steak dinner that he wouldn't hit a home run, and he did. First pitch fastball that time from Greinke. Dodgers skipper taking his ball club in here tonight with a 4-game lead on the Giants. Giants hosting the Cardinals tonight. As the Dodgers finish up a 3-city 10-game road trip, they lost 2 of 3 in Miami, then won 2 of 3 at Yankee Stadium. And they play 4 here in Phoenix. Dropped the opener last night. Greinke drops the curveball in there, and it's 0-2. 16 games left to play for the Dodgers, all of them against NL West opponents. Bunch of games still to go against the Giants, in fact. In the air, shallow right center. Segura wants it. Zach Greinke strands the one-out single. Diamondbacks trail it 2-0. We'll talk to Debbie Castaldo when we come back. Broadcast to benefit Goldie's Fund for Kids and the Center for Cancer and Blood Disorders at Phoenix Children's Hospital. We are taking your donations throughout the ball game. Not only will your donation help children, you'll receive some great D-backs commemorative items, so we urge you to please call now 602-462-3899 or go online dbacks.com/giveback. Debbie Castaldo is the Diamondbacks Vice President of Corporate and Community Impact. We're already over $40,000. Great job.
And I just got one of those phone calls that makes me so proud to be part of this organization. So our managing general partner, Ken Kendrick, was watching the pregame show. I'm going to try and get through this without crying, but he saw the story of Mason and of Anna and is so proud of the efforts of Paul and Amy and all of our fans that he is actually matching all of the donations here tonight. So that $40,000 just turned into $80,000 for Phoenix Children's Hospital.
That's amazing. And we still have 7 innings to go, fans. You've already done a great job. Thank you to Mr. Kendrick, and we're going to raise as much money as we possibly can for kids at PCH. Great job. Jake Lamb leads it off by grounding into the shift. Now, Debbie, what can you tell us about the commemorative package that we put together with the $100 donation?
Yeah, so we worked with Paul and Amy for months now to try and design just the perfect package, and it's all about the fans. So for those that are watching on Fox Sports Arizona, we try to think of things that they might not be able to get. So that's where the custom bobblehead comes from that you can normally just get at a game. But
right here.
Now you can get the Goldie bobblehead as part of the package, and then of course your autographed mystery ball, and then the Goldie t-shirt everyone's been bragging about all day. So Goldie and I designed this one together, and
you guys designed that? That's awesome.
It is one of those super soft t-shirts, so it had to be soft, high quality,
right.
and then it's got the jersey style, so it's really popular. And then the photographic print is one of the most popular poses of Goldie. It's kind of his all-star pose, and then of course you got the dirt. And now I don't know if you guys heard the good news either, but for anyone that does the $100 package tonight, Papa John's is giving you a free large pizza.
Yes. Get on the phone there, BB.
Right.
There you go.
BB, you got your pizza. It keeps getting better and better.
Now, the great thing about that, you can't buy these items anywhere. I mean, you have to donate to. I mean, this T-shirt, this is a one-of-a-kind item, right?
Yeah, these were all designed especially for this program and for our fundraiser here tonight. And so for our fans that participate, this is our way of saying thank you, way to go. And in the end, what if we actually made a difference in cancer?
Well, we're trying as hard as we can, the whole organization, as Wellington Castillo has a single against Kenta Maeda. That's the Diamondbacks' first base hit tonight. And so we're already over 40,000 just from the fans, and Mr. Kendrick has doubled that, and we'll do that all night long. So please, fans, give us a call. The phone number's right there. You can go online and get a closer look at all these items, and we'll raise as much money as we possibly can.
So excited. Grateful to you guys and to Fox Sports for supporting us, and more than anything, our fans. Just wow.
It's amazing. Every time we have something like this, you guys, Diamondback fans step up way beyond what you think they're even capable of. It's amazing how many people in the community rally together when we do something like this. It makes you proud to be here.
Yeah, when you see stories of Anna and Mason, they give you hope. You know, with some of the complex things going on right now in the community, you see these stories, and when our fans come together, it really does give you hope.
And you think about the little things that we go through in our day-to-day lives, and little annoyances and things that get in your way, and then you watch something like that. It just gives you an incredible amount of perspective on what these little kids are going through, and the families too.
It does, and we say, my team, we're blessed every day. We say we're in the business of making memories, and so we get to know these families very well. We host them all the time. We go to the hospital with the players, and making memories is what we do.
Yeah, I saw just the other day Kyle Jensen and Matt Cook and a whole bunch of other guys were just over there.
Yeah, we love it. I mean, we start our rookie players young, so we start them in the minor leagues. So by the time they get to Chase Field, they're used to it, because we're like, here we go, guys, we're going. And of course, we have incredibly generous guys. They had a great time, and Peter O'Brien was really special. He loved it there and enjoyed it, and walked away and said, hey, I want to do more. Get me out there. I want to do some things. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, this is the video of the guys the other day. Peter was over there, and there's Steve Hathaway and Matt Cook, and they were there all afternoon and did a tremendous job with the kids.
Yeah, the players that do that, to a man, come away saying they were the beneficiaries.
You hear that all the time, that you meet these kids and their fighting spirit and their bravery, and you know, it gives these guys a different perspective to come back and makes a 100-mile-per-hour fastball not look quite so scary when you look at what these kids are facing.
2-2 on Yasmani Tomas. Great job by Peter and all the D-backs. How about the work that Paul and Amy do over there? Because we don't publicize all of it, and that's by design, because they're private people, but they do want to raise awareness and fun. So how do you balance that with all the work that Paul and Amy Goldschmidt do at PCH?
Yeah, from the moment I met them, they actually first volunteered running a coffee cart, going room to room. That's how humble and how kind they are, spending time in the rooms, getting to know fans, and they didn't want the publicity. They asked that we not send cameras. They genuinely just wanted to get to know the fans. It took a while before Paul would even wear his jersey, until he realized that the kids actually did love it, that he was a Major League Baseball player, and so he is everything that you think he is. He is genuinely that and so much more, and he and Amy are perfect for the work that they do, because they feel it every day.
They are real champions. And can you imagine being a sick child in a bed, and here comes Paul Goldschmidt wearing his Diamondback jersey right in your room? Wow, what a moment that must be.
Bigger than life. Yeah.
Good at bat by Yasmani Tomas. Diamondbacks have something going here, Debbie. You're bringing us good luck. 2 on and 1 out.
Well, my favorite was, I was talking to Mason Weedman not that long ago, and he said his favorite story of Paul Goldschmidt is when Paul Goldschmidt wanted to spend his birthday, so Paul Goldschmidt's birthday, at Phoenix Children's Hospital. So that's what he chose to do on his birthday. So he walked around so that all the kids could say happy birthday to him, but in the end, it was the best birthday present he could give. So those are the stories that people don't know, that those of us that work with him know, that he genuinely is all that, the box crackerjacks.
And now that they're parents too with baby Jake, it means even more to them.
Yeah, it does. It does. They have a unique perspective. They're incredible, loving parents and doting parents, and it makes you even more sensitive to what you see these families going through.
Brandon Drury, boy, Brandon's been hot. RBI single last night. He's had RBIs now in 7 straight games. That's baseball's longest RBI streak by a rookie since Justin Turner, who was then with the Mets, did that 5 years ago. And with 1 more RBI tonight, and he's got a chance in this at bat, Brandon would tie the Diamondbacks record, 8 straight games with an RBI. That's currently shared by Gonzo and Goldie.
Right, is still dropping those breaking balls just off of that outside corner. That curveball nipped the edge to run the count to 1-1, but against Tomas, he tried to throw that slider to the outside corner and just kept missing a little bit off the plate.
forget to get on the phones, fans. 602-462-3899. And we always joke operators are standing by, Deb, but you guys have put together a staff. They really are standing by. There they are in our call center.
Yep, there's Robert. Robert's part of my team, the dream team up there. And we actually have volunteers from Safe Flight Auto Glass that are up there talking on the phones and getting to meet fans. And gosh, we are just so grateful. And, you know, thanks for your patience waiting on the phone. We know that people are waiting. And Robert says the phones have been ringing like crazy. So fans are stepping up in a big way, and we're grateful.
They always do. It's amazing.
It must be the pizza.
Well, that doesn't hurt.
Well, yeah, you throw in a pizza, people will buy anything.
That's why Bob's garage is full of stuff.
I'm a big fan of the Papa John's large pizza. Let's do this.
That's why one of the reasons we're so excited about the Diamondbacks winning streak. You know, you get half off your pizza the next day.
So, have you heard the story of the dirt?
There's a story. It was dirt. I didn't know there was a story.
We packed. My
no.
team packed all 1,500 vials of dirt. So we went, scraped it off.
Were you guys
of
walking
the field.
around? You're walking around on the field scraping up dirt. That's amazing.
When we say this is real game used dirt, this is real game used dirt. We actually packed all 1,500 game used vials of dirt that are going to the fans. So these were hand packed by our community team.
Or can you hold one up? We'll get a shot of it here in a second. And it comes in a great bottle. It's labeled and everything. Dirt from the actual infield. And Brandon Drury loads them up. Now here's Debbie Castaldo's personally hand-packed bottle of Chase Field infield dirt.
Yeah, the label on one side says Authentic Field Dirt 2016 Chase Field, and on the back it says this bottle contains authentic game-used dirt from Chase Field from the Arizona Diamondbacks. It doesn't say your name specifically.
Well, it should.
You know how I can prove that we played a part? I'm actually allergic to the dirt on the field, and so when we were done, both my hands were bright red and swollen.
Oh, no.
I can't use dirt. But you know what? We want to make sure every dollar goes to charity, so we don't spend any money. We make sure that we do it all ourselves. It's all volunteer and staff driven, and that's how we make sure every single dollar ends up going to Phoenix Children's and a charity. So there you go.
Maybe that's why some of the players wear the gloves when they run the bases. Maybe they're allergic.
We might be onto something here. Well, we got a chance right here as they're trying to break up this meeting on the mound. Diamondbacks down 2-0, have the bases loaded. Rick Honeycutt comes out with translator to talk to Maeda. Chris Conroy gives him a few more minutes for the translation after the clock expires. And here is Mitch Haniger, who had maybe the biggest hit of the game last night, a 3-run homer. The Diamondbacks Organizational Player of the Year. This was last night. There it goes, a 3-run homer off Lewis Coleman, the right-hander. Bases loaded, 1 out. Diamondbacks down 2-0. Here's ball 1 to Haniger, who's hitting .237 now with 2 homers. Wellington Castillo is at third. Yasmani Tomas at second, and Brandon Drury at first. Suddenly Maeda really struggling, Bob, to throw strikes.
Really nibbling now. You know, before, at least in the first inning, he was hitting his spots with the fastball and then throwing slider out there on the outside corner, and he's just missing off the plate. Not by much, but falling behind in the counts. He's already walked 2 in the inning.
Haniger has hit safely in 4 straight games. 2 home runs over that span. He's ahead 2 balls and no strikes. Check swing roller, tricky play. Turner does get the force at second as Castillo scores and the D-backs are on the board. But the Dodgers can only get 1 there.
That's a break for the Diamondbacks. Mitch Haniger with a little bit of a check swing there. Looked like it might lead Justin Turner into a potential double play, but he tries to tag Yasmani Tomas going by him from second to third base and kind of threw off the timing of the play. I think the way Haniger runs, they weren't going to turn 2 anyway, but ended up getting a run out of a check swing grounder.
Well, Zach Greinke, we know, is a hitter up there. Runners on the corners, 2 outs and a run in. Tomas at third and Haniger at first. And don't forget, fans, this is our Go Gold for Phoenix Children's Hospital broadcast. Debbie Castaldo is here, the Diamondbacks VP of Corporate and Community Impact. You can call 602-462-3899. We've shown you our call center. Debbie and her staff are there. You can also go online, dbacks.com/giveback, as we raise money for Goldie's Fund for Kids and the Center for Cancer and Blood Disorders at Phoenix Children's Hospital.
So you actually do get to pick the size of your t-shirt. So when you order, make sure you get one that fits you, or if you're going to give it away, you can order for anyone you like. So we're going to order based on the sizes we get. So this package really is absolutely custom for our fans. Pretty awesome.
And you get a pizza.
You got to tag everything with that. You get a pizza.
Well, we talked about how Maeda has really struggled in this inning to throw strikes. He's behind on the pitcher. 3-0.
And you guys will ship all this stuff, right? People don't have to come down here to the ballpark and pick it up or anything, right?
Nope. So we'll order the t-shirts as soon as this is over, and when the t-shirts come in, then our team and our volunteers will start packing them, and they'll go out in just a few weeks, and yep, we're shipping them direct to your home. And yeah, we're really excited. I mean, this program's grown every year, and our fans absolutely love it. And we've got people. Robert says people are ordering 2 and 3 packages and ordering them for kids and families, and from all over. People watching all over the country calling. We had a couple from Iowa that called in, and so we've got some really cool stories.
Greinke drives one to center. Peterson is there, and he runs it down. But the Diamondbacks get one. Debbie, thank you so much, and thank you and your staff for everything you've done here to put together. You're doing an amazing job, and thank you so much for tonight.
Thank you to the fans.
Fans, let's go down on the farm with the Arizona Sun producer. We're looking at what's going on.
Dodgers lead. It's 2-1 as we enter the top half of the third. All this talk about pizza. I want to remind the fans that when the D-backs win, you win at Papa John's. A day after every Diamondbacks win, you get 50% off your regular menu price online order at Papa John's. Enter promo code D-backs50 at papajohns.com.
D-backs are worldwide. A fan here from South Africa. We had our friends from Australia with us earlier this year. They're coming to Chase Field from all over the globe. And Chase Utley leads off the third against Zach Greinke in a 2-1 ball game as we raise money for Phoenix Children's Hospital tonight with our special Go Gold broadcast. And we'll be giving you those numbers throughout the broadcast tonight. 602-462-3899, or go online dbacks.com/giveback and donate $44 gets you a mystery ball autographed by a current D-back player. The $100 package, you get everything that Debbie Castaldo just talked about: the Goldie photographic print, the special T-shirt, the bobblehead, the mystery ball, and the personally packed bottle of infield dirt.
That makes it even more impressive. I didn't realize that Deb and her staff got down there on their hands and knees and scooped up the dirt to fill those bottles. It's dedication.
And keep this in mind too, it's only the top of the third inning. You, the fans, have already raised $50,000. Mr. Kendrick has doubled that, so we're already, Bob, up to $100,000.
That's great. Just getting started.
All to help sick kids and their families. 602-462-3899. You can just watch the game, and if you won't be on hold that long, but if you are, you can just watch the game, sit there and give your donation on the phone watching D-backs baseball, or do it online. Log on right now while you're sitting back in the Barca Lounger watching Diamondback baseball, and help us help sick children in PCH. Chase Utley's been a real problem in this series. 3 hits and a walk last night. He doubled and scored to lead off the ball game tonight. D-backs have the shift on. Jake Lamb, the third baseman, in his usual spot just by second base. Big slow curveball. Utley reaches out and hits it to Owens at shortstop, and they retire Utley to lead off the third.
Shortstop, Corey Seager.
Corey Seager struck out his first time up. Corey Seager has hit at least .330 every month for the last 3 months, and he's hitting .333 in September.
Is that good
for a 22-year-old rookie? Yeah. It's hard to believe he's only 22. There's a strike.
At 22, I was starting in left field for the Great Falls Giants in rookie ball.
Seager, of course, comes from a baseball family. His older brother Kyle is the Mariners all-star third baseman. Family from Concord, North Carolina. Corey Seager was a first-round pick out of high school there by the Dodgers 4 years ago. The 18th overall selection. Greinke at 40 pitches, 26 strikes. There's another Greinke curveball. That has been the feature pitch so far for Zach, and he's ahead 1-2.
Both these pitchers, and we knew it was going to happen with Kenta Maeda, but Zach Greinke as well, relying on breaking pitches. Maeda the slider, Zach Greinke the big curveball tonight.
Tried to ring him up with a fastball, but just missed, says Chris Conroy, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Roof and panels open tonight. Another beautiful September Arizona evening at Chase Field. Went back to the curveball, and Seager just did get a piece of it to stay alive. Dodgers 4 up on the Giants. Giants just underway. They're hosting St. Louis at AT&T Park. No score in the first. Matt Moore on the mound for San Francisco, the left-hander. There's that Greinke changeup, always in the upper 80s. Only about a 4-mile-an-hour or so difference off the fastball. He often says it doesn't have to be really slow, it just has to be a good pitch.
Well, we've talked about it in the past. The idea is you get soft contact. Get that ball off the barrel of the bat. If a hitter's looking for a fastball, get it out near the end a little bit, turn it into an easy ground ball.
3-2 to Seager. Over to George Lombard coaching at first. There's the changeup, 88 miles an hour, and he strikes out Seager for the second time tonight.
Dodger hitter so anxious to get on that Zach Greinke fastball that 88-mile-an-hour changeup becomes a really effective weapon, even when Zach misses his spot like he did with that one.
He's now retired 6 of the last 7 Dodgers he's faced. 2 outs now for Justin Turner, who had an RBI triple and scored a run his first time up. Slider that time, and it's 0-1. So Turner with his triple has now hit safely in 6 straight games. Had a double and an RBI last night. Hard to tell. It's only the 3rd inning. Look at Turner. He's a mess. That's the Greinke curveball. 0-2. So slider curveball to start off Turner. Didn't like that call from Chris Conroy. The name on that bat, Chase Utley.
Chase Utley bat.
Fastball. He looks at it for strike 3. 4 strikeouts for Greinke. And the Diamondbacks trail the Dodgers 2-1 as we start the bottom of the 3rd in just a moment. But first, let's go over to Jody Jackson. Jody.
That's right, Steve. I am alongside Stephen Dwyer. Maybe some of our viewers might know Stephen. He's been on our broadcast a couple of times, but a recipient of a bone marrow transplant at Phoenix Children's Hospital. His mom, Trish, is here as well. And Stephen, I know you're doing great right now, but as we raise money and we go gold right now for pediatric cancer, what has PCH meant for you being a survivor?
PCH means so much to me just because just the care that I received there was just exceptional, and I couldn't imagine being anywhere else. You know, I was lucky enough, being that I'm 18 right now, that I still am able to go there and do. I still have like clinic appointments, and just the care I get from the doctors and the nurses is just exceptional, and I couldn't imagine being anywhere else.
You know, that's the one thing that I noticed just recently being there. There was a visit some of the D-backs players made there, and Anna Delaney, who I know you've become friends with, a 7-year-old, and she's on day 38, I think, right now of being in the hospital. I love that you give back, and what has it meant to you to be able to help other kids?
I actually want to give a shout out. Hi, Anna. I miss you. I hope to see you soon. It means a lot because I know how hard it really is day to day. And so to have visitors is just really special, and to make connections with people who have been through the same thing. It's just really important because it's good to have hope and to know that there is life beyond cancer and these different treatments and stuff. So to be able to get hope, and for me to give other kids hope, it's really special, and I love doing it. So
you're such a positive person. Your mom is as well. I mean, when you were at PCH, was there ever a thought that you weren't going to get well, or was there just such a hopeful, positive attitude there? And I know that's within you, but also from everyone there. Did you ever encounter that, or was it always positive?
I myself really was motivated by the people around me, my family and the nurses and the doctors. And they helped me, set goals, because I'm a swimmer, and so that was like the most important thing for me, to get back in the water. So they helped instill goals to get back in the water and all those things. So they really helped me, and I never really had a thought like I'm not going to get through this, because the people around really support you and help you get through what you need to get through.
Like you said, you still have to go back occasionally, even though you're doing great, but it's kind of becomes part of your life, right?
Right. It's weird where I'm at now, after being there, spending so much time there, to not be there as much. It's really strange, and it's kind of a weird transition, but yeah, it's kind of becomes a part of you, just the people at PCH.
Stephen, thank you so much for being here tonight. Really, all weekend long, we're going gold. Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you.
All right, Stephen Dwyer, guys, again, this is the reason why it's so important to raise this money for PCH, to help kids like Stephen go through whatever they need to do medically and get past it, get beyond it. And again, survival is the key.
Well, thank you, Jody and Stephen. And we put phone numbers up and website addresses, and we talk about money and causes and everything. But when you put faces on something as personal as cancer, and it's the faces of children and their families, that's when you realize what's at stake. 2-2 on Gene Segura now, who leads off the bottom of the third against Kenta Maeda. Segura knocks one into left, a base hit. The Diamondbacks able to get to Maeda in the second. They had a single and 2 bases on balls. Now Segura starts off the third with a base hit.
It looked like they were going to do more damage in that second inning. That fly ball by Zach Greinke to center field gave Peterson some fits out there deep in left center field, but he was finally able to run it down. Diamondbacks only scored 1 in that second.
So that's base hit number 183 for Gene Segura. He leads the National League as he chases 200. Owings struck out the first time he faced Maeda tonight. Came in with that fastball on the bunt attempt by Owings, and it's 0-1. Now if Chris was Rich Hill, he'd be yelling at Kenta Maeda right now. Throw it over the plate.
I was thinking CO's first at bat, everything was away, sliders away, fastballs away. Goes up there his second at bat with his mind made up. I'm going to try to bunt for a base hit, and he finally gets a fastball inside.
Yeah, otherwise he might have turned on that pitch and sent it down the left field line. The way he's hitting the ball lately. It's 2 fastballs to start it off, and it's 0-2. You can see the different approach from Maeda against Chris Owings here. It's been slider, 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 but now the second time through the order, starting to see a few more fastballs. And he strikes him out on the slider. Third strikeout for Maeda. Second time he's got Owings, and that's the first out in the third.
When you face a guy like Kenta Maeda, for Chris Owings, it's obvious where they feel his weakness is, and that's where they've been going early in the game. Sliders away, sliders away, sliders away. You may have to have an embarrassing at bat. You may have to go up there and tell yourself, I'm going to hit that slider right down the right field line, and if he does happen to throw you a fastball middle in, you may get jammed and break your bat and look foolish. But the idea is, what's he most likely going to throw me over the course of this at bat? Most likely he's going to pitch you away, away, away. So just give up that inside pitch and focus on driving that ball the opposite way. That might make Maeda change and come back inside again.
Well, he throws a fastball away to Goldie to start off this at bat. Goldie swung at the first pitch he saw and popped up foul to Gonzalez to end the first, his first time up. This is the same as the Owings at bat. He started him off with 2 fastballs and jumped ahead 0-2. Goldie having a discussion now in a long one with Chris Conroy back there. He thought that was outside.
Well, on our Fox tracks, it appears that one pitch was right on top of the other. So if one's a strike, they should both be a strike. If one's a ball, they should both be a ball.
Rondal sets up down and away. There's that slider. It's got that movement we talked about. Oftentimes sliders have lateral movement from a right-hand pitcher moving away across to a right-hand batter, but Maeda's kind of dropped straight down. Ears pinned back, 1-2. Rondal wants this pitch elevated. See if he sets up in that same spot. No, coming inside this time. Fastball by him.
Third baseman, Jack Lamb.
Maeda with his assortment of pitches, he'll get you not only guessing pitches but guessing locations. That time Goldie a little tardy on a fastball in.
Yeah, I mentioned this last time. We hear the term all the time, professional hitter. Well, Kenta Maeda is a professional pitcher. He knows what he's doing out there. He's a craftsman of sorts. He pitches, he does not throw. 50 pitches tonight, 29 strikes. Here's Jake Lamb. Jake rounded out his first time up. Dodgers have the shift on. More fastballs in this inning, and he's stealing strikes. He got ahead of Owings, 0-2 on fastballs. Ahead of Goldie, 0-2 on fastballs. And the first pitch fastball to land there for strike one. Dodgers, as we've seen all year long, have a different alignment with their left-hand batter shift. They take the third baseman Justin Turner and move him way out where Gene Segura normally plays for the Diamondbacks, which is out in short right field. They leave Utley, the second baseman, where he is. So you've got the shortstop and the second baseman playing almost as they always normally do. But Turner has to range way over there to right field. All the way over from third base. There he is.
And Turner's played a lot of second base over the course of his career, and we speculated in LA that perhaps it's because Turner has a stronger arm than Chase Utley, so you put him farther out there in right field as the rover.
1-1 on Jake. Jake has had some good results against Kenta Maeda this year. He's got 3 doubles, a homer, and 4 RBIs against Maeda. Batting cleanup tonight. Grounded out his first time. Jake sat out last night's game. He was hitless Wednesday against Colorado. That snapped a 5-game hitting streak. It's that one foul behind Dave McKay at first. Good take on a changeup, and it's 2-2. Maeda tried to drop that one in there and get the strikeout. He has struck out his last 2 batters, Owings and Goldie, now 2-2 on Lamb. Got him with a slider. 3 strikeouts in the inning for Maeda, 5 in the ball game. He leads it 2-1. Sports Arizona to benefit Goldie's Fund for Kids and the Center for Cancer and Blood Disorders at PCH. This is what you get with your $100 commemorative donation. All these items: the Goldie print, the specially designed t-shirt, that very cool bobblehead, a mystery ball autographed by a Diamondback player, and the personally packed bottle of infield dirt, all for only $100. You also get a coupon for a pizza. And we are trying to raise money for Phoenix Children's Hospital throughout the broadcast tonight. Diamondback fans have already done a tremendous job. Mr. Kendrick is matching all your donations personally. 602-462-3899 or dbacks.com/giveback. And so far we have raised, I should say you have raised, $63,000. So Mr. Kendrick has doubled that. So we're up to $126,000 through the first 3 innings. Outstanding. And it all goes to benefit Phoenix Children's Hospital. Adrian Gonzalez walked his first time up against Zach Greinke. That one got under Greinke's glove and it caroms off the bag. That is a major league carom as Jake Lamb is way out there in left center field. A leadoff single for Gonzalez.
Boy, as slowly as Adrian Gonzalez runs, they might have still had a play on him. This ball gets through Zach Greinke, which is shocking, and then ricochets off the bag. Jake Lamb was in a position to make a backhanded play and throw up the middle of the field, but once that ball hits the base, no chance.
The catcher Yasmani Grandal hit into a double play his first time up. 4th hit for the Dodgers against Zach Greinke. He has walked 1, struck out 4. Shows bunt, pulls back, takes ball 1.
I don't know how anxious Yasmani Grandal is to bunt that ball to the left side, but he shows it a lot. He'll give up 1 pitch of an at bat to show bunt. Most of the time he pulls the bat back, but he will at least show the bunt and make you keep that one position player on the left side of the infield.
It's funny the way he bats. It always strikes me, he's got that shoulder hunched.
Yeah, got his shoulders up against his ears, but then he tucks that right shoulder down underneath his chin as he gets ready to drive into the pitch.
Watch that front shoulder just kind of hunch up like he's nervous or cold or something. Right there. Sky high to center. Mitch Haniger coming in. Oh, it's going to be Lamb behind the second base bag with the shift on, and that's the first out in the 4th. Josh Reddick carved the ball the other way down the left field line his first time up, leading off the 2nd inning, a play on which Brandon Drury made a terrific running diving catch. Brandon the start in left field today. Shift stays on. You see Chris Owings will move a little closer to the third base bag over there on the left hand side. Change up to strike 1. Reddick was 0 for 2 with a walk last night. Came into the ball game hitting .273 with 9 home runs between the A's and the Dodgers, acquired from Oakland at the trade deadline, along with pitcher Rich Hill. And Reddick, when he was first acquired by LA, did almost nothing offensively. He really struggled the first month, but he's picked it up lately. He's hit safely in 10 of his last 13 games. Well, that batting helmet is an absolute mess. It looks like there's been a flock of pigeons sitting on it all day long.
It's sunflower seeds stuck to the pine tar.
He's always been kind of a dirt dog. He started out with the Boston Red Sox and played 5 years with the A's, and that's sort of the way he's looked the whole time.
Yeah, good point. He's only been a Dodger for a month.
Yeah. He's really had to work hard at that. Fastball missed. 3-1. You get time. There's Andre Ethier doing some manicuring. He's got the night off. Ethier just back from a broken leg this week. Suffered in spring training against the Diamondbacks. 3-1 to Reddick. Shoots it the other way again. That one's foul, and it's a full count, 3-2. Gonna need a new bat.
Yeah, very similar swing to that first at bat when he carved that ball down the left field line for Brandon Drury. He's kind of slashing at the pitch at the last minute. A lot of side English.
Zach Greinke at 60 pitches, 39 for strikes. 3-2 to Josh Reddick. Gonzalez is the runner at first and 1 out. Fastball is ball 4. Second walk issued by Greinke. And the Dodgers have 2 on and 1 down for the dangerous Howie Kendrick, who singled his first time up. Gonzalez, a base clogger on the bases over there at second, and Reddick, who runs pretty well, is the runner at first. Greinke had retired 7 of the last 8 he'd faced to start this inning, but he's got 2 on and 1 out. Chip Hale's Diamondbacks, winners of 4 straight. Tonight they look for their first 5-game winning streak here at Chase Field in just over 3 years. August of 2013 last time they won 5 in a row here at home. But they've played well against the Dodgers at Chase this season. 4-3 versus LA at home. 6-10 overall. One and 1 to Howie Kendrick. Oh, Zach wanted that fastball. No, he didn't go, says Jerry Meals. 2-1.
Appeared to be down. Maybe one of the red seams nipped the bottom of the zone right there, but they don't get the call from Chris Conroy that time.
Change up, 2-2. It's amazing how effective that changeup is when he's locating it, when it's only 3 or 4 miles an hour slower than his fastball. Ideally, you have a 10-mile-an-hour difference, but with Greinke, it doesn't matter. A bouncer to shortstop. Owing. Segura for 1, and they won't get it. It gets behind Goldie, and that's going to allow Gonzalez to come in with a 3rd LA run. It was going to be very close. Kendrick can still run. It's 3-1 LA.
Gene looked like he really rushed his throw that time, knowing that Kendrick could get down the line quickly. Reddick not really a problem sliding in. Gene just pulls that throw wide of the bag down there at first.
Chuck Peterson.
Chip Hale to the mound. Greinke has had to work since the very first batter, Utley, on the first pitch of the ball game. Utley doubled, Turner tripled. He had a walk in that inning. Dodgers got 2, and ever since then it has been a labor for Greinke. A lot of curveballs, changeups, sliders. No easy innings. That's a fielder's choice. 6-4 on the putout. E4 the error on Segura. Brings in a run and puts Kendrick at second base with 2 outs. Peterson struck out his first time up. He has lost the face mask. How about that? He finally gave up. Decided it didn't look that cool after all.
Yes, not. You don't look cool walking back to the dugout.
So I'm guessing this was most of the discussion with Chip and Zach out there. Let's put Peterson aboard. After all, he's got 6 home runs against the Diamondbacks this year, and they'll deal with the pitcher Maeda.
I think it was a conversation that you needed to have, because Jock Peterson, even though he is a power threat, and as you mentioned, 6 bombs against the D-backs this year, he also swings and misses a ton.
Yeah, he does.
And if Zach Greinke thought he could execute his pitches well enough to maybe get Peterson to chase something and get himself out, then you'd have Maeda leading off in the next inning, but just decided to go ahead and put Peterson on, not take any chances, try to make your best pitches right here.
So that's the 3rd walk of the ball game for Greinke, the 2nd in this inning. 2 on and 2 out. A run is in, and here is the pitcher Maeda with Greinke at 70 pitches, 42 for strikes. He's got Kendrick at 2nd and Peterson at 1st. And he laces the first pitch down the left field line and just missed it. Diamondbacks caught a big time break right there. Jumped on a slider from Greinke.
Hooking from the minute it left the bat, out in front of that 84-mile-an-hour slider, just goes foul down that 3rd base line.
Segura smothers it. What a play! Oh, he's been a Gold Glover down there all year long. Gene Segura ends the top of the 4th with a tremendous play at 2nd, but the Dodgers had one more. They lead it 3-1. Emergency. Let's take a look at our Coors Light Cold Hard Facts. Superheroes in the house on a Friday night. Most strikeouts among National League rookies this year. Kenta Maeda just ahead of the Rockies' John Gray. Again, Maeda. Look, he's won a couple of Japanese League Cy Young awards. He's no kid. He's 28 years old, but he's a rookie technically.
Yeah. And he's also sneaking up on our buddy Rick Sutcliffe for the most victories by a rookie in Dodgers history, LA Dodgers history. Rick Sutcliffe had 17 wins as a rookie back in 1979. Maeda on 14 right now, and will get at least 2, maybe 3 more starts depending on what happens with the Dodgers and their pursuit of that NL West crown.
And Archie Bradley had 7 strikeouts last night. He got the win. Archie's now won 3 of his last 4 starts, as he was the winning pitcher in the opener last night. That was a fun ball game last night. 7-3 D-backs won it. Archie 6 innings, gave up 9 hits, 3 runs. He walked 2, had 7 strikeouts, and really pitched well. Wellington Castillo leads off the 4th against Kenta Maeda. Well, he singled and scored the Diamondbacks' only run so far. 1-1.
Yeah, Archie Bradley was good last night, but for me, the pitching highlight of the evening was watching Patrick Corbin come in out of that bullpen and fire bullets.
The best we've seen him this year?
Absolutely. 3 strong innings, struck out 4, otherwise zeros across the board. They weren't even getting good swings at it.
He retired all 9 he faced. Utley scampers over there and collects that one. And they retire Castillo to open up the bottom of the 4th.
Yeah, it was vintage Patrick Corbin last night, spotting his fastball in the mid-90s. That back foot slider was working for him through some nice change-ups. He was really good.
Yasmani Tomas. Yeah, Patrick, a few more outings like that, and you're really going to change the perspective heading into the offseason on Patrick Corbin. It's been a struggle all year long, but Patrick was electric last night. Tomas walked his first at bat, or plate appearance against Maeda. He throws that one to the backstop, a fastball, and it's 1-0. Yasmani last night 0 for 4. That snapped a 7-game hitting streak. He's played in 50 games, Yasmani Tomas, since the All-Star break. And in those 50 games, he's got 16 home runs and 41 RBIs. Don't forget, fans, this is our special Go Gold for Phoenix Children's Hospital fundraising broadcast. We urge you to call 602-462-3899. Debbie Castaldo and her staff are ready to take your phone calls, or go online at dbacks.com/giveback as we raise money for Goldie's Fun for Kids and the Center for Cancer and Blood Disorders at Phoenix Children's Hospital. There's the number, 602-462-3899, or online dbacks.com/giveback. You can make a $44 donation or get the commemorative prize pack with a $100 donation. That's a great prize pack. The custom t-shirt, the special Goldie bobblehead, the photo print, the autographed baseball, and the bottle of infield dirt, all for only $100. And fans, you've already done a marvelous job. We've just passed $70,000, and Mr. Kendrick is matching every dollar you donate. So now we're up, thanks to you and Mr. Kendrick, to $140,000. That's outstanding. And we'll take your donations all night long throughout the ball game here. 602-462-3899. dbacks.com/giveback. Also included in the package, everyone that donates gets a offer for 1 large free topping pizza from Papa John's. So we want to thank our friends at Papa John's for their help.
That's worth it right there. The good you do for Phoenix Children's Hospital, and you get a za.
And by the way, with the $44 donation, you get just the mystery ball. You also get a mystery ball with your $100 donation. And the mystery balls are the official Rawlings Major League Baseballs. They are authenticated, and they are autographed by a current Diamondback player. There's a whole long list. There's about 20-25 guys who have autographed these baseballs for us. They spend hours autographing these balls for you in the clubhouse. Tomas reaches out and hits one to shortstop, but Seager is there. And that's the second out.
Hey, fans, a D-backs home run tonight means a free Jumbo Jack tomorrow at participating Jack in the Box locations with the purchase of a large drink.
Left fielder.
Brandon Drury looking for an RBI. He's had RBIs in 7 straight games. One more and he ties the record that Goldie shares with Gonzo. 8 straight games with at least 1 run batted in. Brandon's had RBIs in 7 straight games, and he's hit safely in 7 straight games, so they overload the left-hand side against him. Drury, who's looked good at both third base and second base lately in the infield, made a tremendous running, diving catch along the left field line earlier in the ballgame to take at least a double away from Josh Reddick. That was back in the 2nd inning. 1-1. We'll check in the next half inning on our progress with the lovely Mike and Vanessa. They're up here. We'll have our what's become our nightly visit with the lovely Mike and Vanessa. Coming up in the top of the 5th, find out how the effort is going on around the ballpark to raise money for PCH. Oh, Brandon Drury just squirts one the other way. Nicely done. Just rolled it away from that overshift, and it's a 2-out single. So he's now hit safely in 8 straight games.
That's one that a scout will describe as a 99 hopper through the right side. Nobody home at the second base position. That one just trickles into the outfield. Maeda can only laugh out there on the mound.
Some pitchers they'd have him yelling back into the dugout. Clayton Kershaw hates when they put the shift on behind him. He still has not adjusted to that. Maeda just laughs. What can you do? Brings up Mitch Haniger. Mitch has an RBI, the only run batted in on a fielder's choice. Big curveballs in there for strike 1. Mitch, who homered last night, is second of the year and his second this week. Back in center field tonight. A rare Maeda fastball, and it's 0-2. Now he's got him set up. Might dot a fastball.
Could roll that big slow curve up there and bounce it off the front of the plate. That slider off the outside corner.
Spin the wheel, take your pick. Hope it lands on the right one. Well, try the fastball, but it was wild.
I think that was probably by design. Maeda just wanted to show fastball and plant the seed in Mitch Haniger's mind. Yeah, he's thrown me 2 fastballs this at bat.
Might throw you a fastball. I probably won't, but I might.
And when he does, he's probably going to throw it somewhere either you can't get a good swing at it or it's not remotely close to the strike zone.
That same place he likes to throw the slider, which is right where Grandal set up. And he does throw a fastball, but missed, and it's 2-2. The art of pitching. I tell you what, you can give yourself a headache trying to figure this stuff out as the hitter.
He thinks that I think that he thinks that I think he's going to throw a slider.
And he's thrown me 2 fastballs.
And the smoke starts coming out of your helmet and you realize you're overthinking the at bat. Just see it and react to what you see.
See ball, hit ball. That way you can't get confused. Oh, came back with another fastball. Got that one out over the plate a bit, but Mitch missed it. And it's still 2-2. That was not the spot that Maeda wanted. We saw him get a little wild back in that second inning when he walked 2. His command has not been super tonight. So the Diamondbacks just waiting for that mistake pitch, which seems like it's coming. Have to try and take advantage when you do get it. He missed that time. Got another fastball up. He's sticking with a fastball. 2 strikes against Haniger. Mitch keeps fouling him off. 2-2. So he's thrown him, I think, what, 4 straight fastballs, right?
Yeah.
So,
which he hasn't done all night to anybody.
So there's no way he's going to throw him 5. Well.
He thinks that I think that he
right
thinks.
Back. Where's that aspirin? There's the slider, but he missed. Full count, 3-2. That'll get Drury started from first with the pitcher Greinke on deck. There goes the runner. Went back to the fastball, and Haniger stays alive. This is what we've seen, Bob, from Mitch Haniger since we've seen him in the major leagues. He's never in over his skis. He can always handle himself up there. The results come and go, but the quality of the at-bats have been very consistent.
He was overswinging a little bit when he first got to the major leagues, or the second time around at the major league level. He admitted he was overswinging a little bit, so he cut everything down, started to make more solid contact.
Drury takes off. Great at bat by Mitch Haniger, who worked the walk. Another chance for Greinke. Greinke came up with the bases loaded in the second and drilled one to center field that Jock Peterson ran down. And now he's up there with 2 on and 2 out. Brandon Drury at second and Mitch Haniger at first. 3 walks now for Maeda. He has struck out 5. Chopper to shortstop. Seager has it. They go the short way for the force on Haniger, and that ends the inning. We are through 4. D-backs trail the Dodgers 3-1. D-backs trail the Dodgers 3-1. It's our special charity broadcast tonight to benefit Goldie's Fund for Kids and the Center for Cancer and Blood Disorders at Phoenix Children's Hospital. Please, fans, if you can, donate either $44 or $100. This is what you get, that whole prize package of commemorative Diamondbacks items with the $100 donation. The $44 donation gets you the autographed baseball. 602-462-3899, dbacks.com/giveback. Online, the lovely Mike and Vanessa, as they always do, have stopped by wearing the Goldie Go for Gold t-shirts. These are awesome.
Yes, and I said they were comfy yesterday, and they really are.
Yeah,
and
these are the soft versions, which we like.
You know, I'm always worried about the size of the t-shirts, and Debbie said earlier that you can order your size online.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They won't send them out until we have all the sizes correct, so that's great. You're not going to get some, it's either a medium or an XL, make the best of it. You're going to get your right size. That's important.
That's a plus.
Yeah, big time.
Yes, especially for women. And look at all these items up close and personal here. The bobblehead.
Which is a great bobblehead.
Woo.
You don't often see a defensive bobblehead.
Yeah.
There again, you go again there with the noise.
I know. I just realized that I did that.
Well, hold on while I have you here.
Yeah.
Now, tomorrow night we have the David Peralta bobblehead,
Okay,
so let's see your
ready?
Peralta. Ready?
Woo! That's how he does it. Like, I did that.
There you
yes.
go. The lovely Vanessa. Tomorrow night, by the way, David Peralta bobblehead night.
I'm excited for that.
It's another great bobblehead. Jay Sudley leads it off. Now, how are you guys working the ballpark tonight? Are people talking about this? Are they donating here at the ballpark? What's happening?
You know, it's one of those things we've seen a lot of people. I mean, you guys had Debbie in earlier. We saw a lot of people stopping at the TVs and looking and just walking around the concourse and going, oh, look at those shirts up there. We had a couple people ask her what was going on. So it was good. There were people talking about it.
Great. That's what we're trying to do. And of course, Mr. Kendrick is matching every single dollar personally that the fans donate. So we're over 140,000. I'm sure more than that by now as we start the 5th inning here.
I mean, and who doesn't want Chase Field dirt?
It's personally packed with its own labeled bottle and everything.
It's game used dirt. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's great on the mantle or on the kitchen counter. It's a conversation starter.
And you get the autographed mystery ball. Here's a fly ball that backs up Tomas just shy of the warning track, and he's got it. A retire Utley to lead off the 5th. Well, thanks, guys. Thanks for being our spokesmodels.
Well, I mean,
modeling every item.
I do want to mention you get all this stuff, and my favorite part, you get a one-topping large pizza from Papa John's with your donation as well. I mean, I got to stand up for the pizza here.
Absolutely.
Somebody has to.
One topping. What would you get?
I would get pepperoni, hands down.
There you go.
I
get
would,
one topping.
I would go onions, I think.
Onions?
Yeah.
All right.
But look at the reaction.
Is tofu one of the options?
Oh, stop it. Stop it.
I'm with Vanessa. I'm a pepperoni guy.
Yeah. Simple. I like it.
The lovely Mike and Vanessa
Thanks, guys.
modeling our Go Gold t-shirts. Guys, thanks. Great job as always. There's Corey Seager. Big cut at that curveball. 0-2. Seager so far has struck out twice against Greinke. Now he's down no balls and 2 strikes.
Well, as we like to say in this business, in other action around the majors tonight, the Red Sox continue their beat down of the New York Yankees. They win 7-4, but more importantly, Big Papi got his 1,187th career extra base hit, passing Frank Robinson for 11th most in Major League history.
He might be MVP in his final season. And our director, Phil Malika, that's just, I mean, he's beside himself. And he probably wants to just stop being a Yankee fan forever and come over, you know, away from the dark side and join the nation.
Step into the light.
Yes, Phil. By the way, did you notice how Phil got the shot of the guy with the St. Louis Blues hat on?
Yeah.
Nobody cares. 0-2.
Well, we knew there was at least one St. Louis Blues fan in the house tonight because I saw a tractor parked outside the ball park today.
Hello, there he is. That's Phil's uncle. Hey, that guy's wearing the D-backs batting practice pullover.
Yeah, that was an earlier giveaway this season. Lots of good stuff for D-backs fans.
How about that 68-mile-an-hour breaking ball from Greinke that Seager just did get a piece of? And then he fires a fastball. No, he didn't go. Ron Culpa down there. So Clay Buchholz, I think, got the win in that game for the Red Sox.
I know he was the starter today.
Yeah. AL East is going to go right down to the wire. Red Sox beat the Yankees. The Orioles at home beat Tampa Bay 5-4. And the Blue Jays are leading Anaheim 2-0. 2-2 on the Dodgers shortstop.
And you're absolutely right. Clay Buchholz got the win in that game in Boston. Craig Kimbrell got his 26th save. Former D-back Brad Ziegler came in and got a big out.
Giants are all over the Cardinals. That's a big game in the NL West. San Francisco hosting St. Louis, bottom third, and the Giants lead that one 6-0. Trying to put some pressure on the Dodgers, whose division lead is 4 with only 16 games to play. Three-two pitch. Well, Seager, who was down 0-2, works a walk, and that's the 4th walk issued by Greinke tonight. Seems like he's got
Third baseman,
a little more of a hesitation mid windup, a little more of an exaggerated pause than we've seen before.
Well, but not all the time. I think Zach Greinke's on that bandwagon with all these pitchers following Johnny Cueto's lead, breaking up the rhythm of their windup, pausing a little bit at the top of the leg kick, other times quickly striding into their delivery to home plate. Just anything to throw off the rhythm of that hitter.
The rhythm is going to get you. Justin Turner, an RBI triple in the first. He struck out his last time up. See, not much of a pause that time as he fires in that hard changeup. Other times it's been much more exaggerated.
See what he just did right there. That'll drive a manager and a pitching coach crazy.
What do you do?
Very innocent, just kind of bent over at the waist, looked like he was stretching hamstrings or calves or lower back or something. It probably didn't mean anything at all, but when you're watching your ace out there on the mound, anytime he does anything a little bit out of the ordinary, you go, wait a minute.
You're worried he might be tightening up or something, especially a guy who missed 6 weeks with an oblique.
What's going on?
Reggie Sanders down there in uniform tonight. One to Turner. Skies one along the right field line. Segura's got a beat on it in fair territory. And that's the second out in the fifth. D-backs alums all over the ballpark. Orlando Hudson has been with the Diamondbacks all this month. He's been in uniform down on the field. O-Dog has been up in the booth with the front office. Good to have everybody here at the ballpark. Gonzalez has walked, singled, scored a run.
Boy, Reggie Sanders offers a variety of different ways that you can improve yourself as a player. He was a great hitter, great defender out in the outfield, could steal bases.
Frankie walks to talk to Castillo. We have some VIPs here as well. Chief Baseball Officer Tony La Russa hosting Bobby Knight in the middle there with a red shirt, and not one but two Van Arsdales.
Tom and Dick, I'm not sure which one is which, but they're both here.
And there's the general, Bobby Knight, with his back tee.
Now, there used to be more chairs in that box.
Oh, see, you had to go there.
That's like my 4-error game. You see a picture of Bobby Knight, the first thing that pops into your mind is flinging chairs across the court.
Big unit here tonight as well. Friday night, Chase Field, beautiful night, roof and panels open, D-backs and Dodgers. Great night to be here. We got two more coming up, fans, against the Dodgers Saturday and Sunday. dbacks.com/tickets. Tomorrow night, come on down. A 5:10 start. David Peralta bobblehead night tomorrow. And there are still some tickets available, so come on down and get your Peralta bobblehead. Shelby Miller against Bud Norris for that game. And then Sunday, the series and homestand finale has Robbie Ray against Jose De Leon. There's Shelby. Almost 29,000 in here tonight. 1-1 on Gonzalez. Fouls that one back. So after Sunday, only got 3 more home games left.
Yeah, the final series with the Padres.
So come on down and watch these last 2 against the Dodgers this weekend. Before we head out on a long road trip, we go to San Diego, Baltimore, and Washington, D.C. 3 with the Padres, 3 with the Orioles, and 4 at Nats Park, where you and I will have oxygen tanks because of the elevation.
Emergency parachutes.
That broadcast booth is the scourge of Major League Baseball. It's about a mile and a half over the field. 2-2. Zach has really had to work around traffic. He did have one quick 1-2-3 inning. That was the third when he had 2 strikeouts. 2-2, 2 outs. This could be trouble. Mitch Haniger on the run, and he gets over there. Nicely done. Mitch Haniger can cover a lot of ground in those gaps in center field. He helps keep it a 3-1 ball game. Diamondbacks trail the Dodgers 3-1. Greater coverage of baseball brought to you by T-Mobile. As we've mentioned, LA's lead over the Giants atop the National League West is 4 with 16 to play. And the Giants are beating up on the Cardinals right now in San Francisco 6-1. So the Nationals are inching closer and closer in the NL East. They beat Atlanta 7-2. The Mets beat the Twins 3-0 at Citi Field. And the Cubbies, it was Miggy time at Wrigley. Miguel Montero, the walk-off homer, beat the Brew Crew in 10, 5-4. Segura, Owings, and Goldschmidt 1, 2, and 3 against Kenta Maeda, with the Diamondbacks trailing the Dodgers 3-1. As we start the bottom of the 5th at Chase Field.
Trey Turner with 4 knocks in that Nationals game tonight.
Are you back on Trey Turner?
Got to know when to jump back on that bandwagon.
So what are we up to now?
I'm all the way up to 2.
Well, the greatest journey begins with but a single step. By the way, we got some birthdays to pass along. And one of them is right here. We showed a lot of the notables, notaries, dignitaries.
Notaries, yeah. He might be a notary.
Yeah. Oral Hershiser. Happy birthday, Oral. 58 years old, working Dodger TV with Nomar right there.
Well, his foresight wasn't bad either.
And Charlie Steiner's over there calling the baseball game. Little tapper, tricky play for Turner, and they throw out Segura. I used to work with both the Oral and Nomar. They're awesome guys. They're a lot of fun to work with. Just watch baseball games with. Also a birthday today. Former D-back coach Robin Yount.
Yeah, kid.
Won an MVP at shortstop and then an MVP in center field for the Brewers. Tim Raines' birthday today. He should be in the Hall of Fame. And Mickey Tettleton, who had one of the unusual batting stances of his era. Chris Owings, who was struck out twice.
And even more importantly, Mickey Tettleton had a son that went to Ohio University and played quarterback for 4 years.
That was more important?
Yeah, absolutely.
Who the House Cats got tomorrow?
Tennessee. I think they're like 27-point dogs going into it, so
yeah, they'll probably win. D-backs fans trying to come back against these Dodgers down 3-1.
Robin Yount was the #1, first draft pick and the 3rd pick in the 1st round. Let me get that right. David Clyde that year was the #1 pick in the draft. It's a total of 84 games in the big leagues to a 4.63 ERA.
And it was a big time bust.
Yep. Well, especially when you see John Stearns and Robin Yount and Dave Winfield drafted after David Clyde.
How are we looking?
Ooh. You mentioned Robin Yount winning an MVP as a shortstop and the center fielder. If he'd have played third, he'd have won it at third. If he'd have been a catcher, he'd have won it behind the plate. He was just a tremendous athlete.
Remember when he came up as an 18-year-old shortstop in Milwaukee, he was a defensive disaster. He made 44 errors that year. Can you imagine a shortstop making 44 errors? And he went on to become a Hall of Famer and 2-time MVP. Diamondback shortstop pops this one up. Turner's got it. That's 2 outs. Goldie has popped up and struck out. He's 0 for 2 against Kenta Maeda. Goldie with a 5-game hitting streak going. He's hit safely in 8 of his last 9. Had a single and drove in a run last night. Diamondbacks with only 3 hits. Castillo single in the 2nd, Segura single in the 3rd, and Drury single in the 4th. Maeda has walked 3 and struck out 5. You're Dave Roberts down there in that Dodger dugout. Are you keeping an eye on that scoreboard? You got 16 games left. You see the Giants have a 6-1 lead. You know you got to have this one.
There's a pretty good chance Dave Roberts has been watching that out-of-town scoreboard since day one. It's just part of your gig as a manager. You're constantly looking up at that board, especially this time of year.
Bench coach Bob Guerin down there with him. 2-1 on Goldie. Dave Roberts, first year as the Dodgers skipper, trying to win their 4th consecutive division title. feeling what's left of his hair.
Well, enjoy it while it lasts.
Goldie smacks one foul down the left field line.
Yeah, we were talking to Rick Monday yesterday, and you know the Dodgers have had more than their share of injuries this year, especially to that pitching staff. And we asked Rick Monday, you know, what's been the reason? How's this team been able to play so well despite the injuries? And Rick Monday said it's all on the manager.
Wow.
Dave Roberts just has these guys pulling on the same end of the rope, regardless of who's in the lineup on a given day, who's on the mound.
Rick Monday working Dodger radio just down to our left. 2-2 to Goldie. Rick Monday, the very first draft pick ever in baseball. Out of Arizona State. There's Clayton Kershaw. He's pretty good. Kershaw just started that series finale at Yankee Stadium, so the Diamondbacks will miss him for this 4-game series. Tried to drop that slider in there and ring up Goldie, but he missed, and the count is full 3-2. Jake Lamb would be next. Goldie, the major leagues walks leader, up there with a full count and 2 outs.
Hey, partner, we've had a lot of close calls on foul balls recently. We had one rattle around the booth here the other night.
Almost killed Dennis Lamb.
Yeah, but we've had a lot of them hit just above us, just below us.
Don't
just to the
jinx
side.
it.
I think we're about due for one up here.
Here we are right here. Got our Go for Gold t-shirts behind us. All right, I'm going to stay on double alert. Whatever that means. Oh, and Maeda strikes out Goldie for the second time tonight. He's got 6 strikeouts in the ball game and a 3-1 lead.
Here inside the call center at Chase Field during our charity telecast. Such an important cause, all for Phoenix Children's Hospital. We thank so many of you who we know have called in because it's been a very busy night here. A lot of volunteers working really hard. 602-462-3899, getting a lot of great Diamondbacks prizes for donating tonight, including the Paul Goldschmidt print, the mystery ball, the dirt from Chase Field, the bobblehead, and of course the great Going Gold shirt. But we've had so much feedback tonight. $80,000 is the last update I got just a few moments ago. So $80,000, and thanks to managing general partner Ken Kendrick, who was really inspired by Mason's story in the pregame, Anna's story. And he is matching that total tonight. So guys, it's going to continue through the post-game show. And Steve and Bob, I know you've talked about the huge hearts of our Arizona Diamondbacks fans. It has really shown up tonight, and we know it will continue throughout the evening, guys.
And Joni, I always go back to Yarnell. That night we raised money for the 19, and that was an amazing night here. And Diamondback fan, and people all over our community in the Valley and the whole state were incredibly supportive of that effort, and they have been in this every year. And tonight's a special broadcast. We always look forward to it. Our Go Gold for PCH. And our thanks to Mr. Kendrick, who's matching every dollar that Diamondback fans donate. As Jody mentioned, 602-462-3899 or dbacks.com/giveback. And all the money goes to benefit Goldie's Fund for Kids in the Center for Cancer and Blood Disorders at Phoenix Children's Hospital.
Yeah, I can still remember that night we were saluting the hot shots of Yarnell, and the 50-50 raffle kept climbing and climbing, and eventually they just put it up on the big board. People were following it like they were following the game. That one grounded to Segura, no problem. And it crept up over the $100,000 mark.
And when it did, the whole place cheered.
Went crazy.
Yeah, it was great.
That was outstanding.
And it just was one of those things that almost happened organically. All right, we're going to try and raise money and have this thing, and it just became an event, and it gained so much momentum over the course of the evening. And we're hoping that this will be the case tonight again with our effort to help sick kids and their families at PCH. Josh Reddick has flied out and walked. So you can make 2 donations. A $44 donation gets you a mystery ball autographed by a current Diamondback player, and the $100 donation gives you our special group of D-backs commemorative items. You'll get a mystery ball in that pack as well. You'll get your specially designed Go Gold t-shirt. These are limited edition t-shirts. There's only 1,500 of them made. The same with the Goldie bobblehead. This is not a bobblehead that you can buy at the ballpark. This is a special bobblehead. The Chase Field infield dirt and the commemorative Goldie photograph, which you can get autographed at the ballpark. Sanderson Ford bullpen starts getting busy. Randall Delgado, the right-hander, and Steve Hathaway, the lefty. And we have not yet sold out of our t-shirts, fans. So there are still some shirts available. Shift is on, and Reddick almost beat that out. Jake Lamb made the play. That's a 5-3 putout from second base, but Reddick made that awfully close.
All's well that ends well. Jake a little deliberate that time. Fields the ground ball, takes a couple of extra steps to right himself, and the entire time Reddick was just streaking down that first baseline. They just do get him.
Howie Kendrick. Zach Greinke now over 100 pitches. His spot in the batting order not due up for a while. Jake Lamb, the cleanup man, will lead off the D-backs sixth. So if you can get a quick out here, which is almost impossible against Kendrick, but if you can, maybe you can get one more inning out of Zach. We'll see. One and one. And every print in your $100 donation commemorative pack is individually wrapped. It has a cardboard backing, the special Goldie photograph. Only 1,500 of those are available. We'll get your t-shirt size correct. Small, medium, large, XL, double XL. We'll make sure you get the right size shirt. Your mystery ball is an official Major League Baseball Rawlings baseball that is authenticated. You'll receive a tax letter, of course. Everything is deductible except credit and debit cards. You'll get your gift pack somewhere between 3 and 5 weeks after our event tonight. And we urge you to donate to raise money for PCH. Yasmani Tomas, what a play! How about that one? El Tanque ends the inning in foul ground. So don't forget, fans, our call center is busy right now. 602-462-3899. dbacks.com/giveback.
Arizona Sports 98.7.
Bottom of the 6th inning, Diamondbacks trail at 3-1. It'll be Jake Lamb, Wellington Castillo, and Yasmani Tomas, and others. Hey, fans, we invite you to participate in Gila River game nights by signing up at one of the interactive kiosks located right here at Chase Field during any Diamondbacks regular season home game.
Kenta Maeda's night is over. He gave up just 1 run on 3 hits in 5 innings, walked 3, struck out 6, and with Jake Lamb leading off the bottom of the 6th inning, here's the lefty J.P. Howell, his 60th appearance. 4.31 ERA. Lamb so far has grounded out, struck out. He's 0 for 2. There's the defensive alignment against him. Jake hitting 172 against left-hand pitchers this year. That's 116 plate appearances. Does include 4 homers. And he's ahead 2-0. Shoots one out to left center field. Howie Kendrick won't get there. It bounces off the wall, and Jake Lamb against the lefty Howell has a leadoff double. 29th double of this year for Jake Lamb.
Boy, really waited on that breaking ball nicely, let it get deep in the zone, and then drives it to the opposite field. Boy, nice approach by Jake Lamb against the lefty that time.
Chance Howie Kendrick was going to get there, so Howell can't get his one man, the lefty Lamb, and he will leave. Dave Roberts needs this ball game. He knows the Giants are beating the Cardinals 8-1 right now, so he's going to match them up back after this. Backs trail the Dodgers 3-1. New pitcher for LA, the right-hander Josh Fields, who has tossed scoreless relief in 12 of his 15 outings with Los Angeles after they acquired him from the Astros at the trade deadline. A 5.40 ERA in 30 appearances between the two teams. He's got Lamb at second, nobody out, and the hitter is Wellington Castillo. Castillo singled and scored in the second. He grounded out his last time up. Each team now with 4 hits. Breaking ball got away from Fields, and it's 2-0. You think his wife bakes cookies?
Pretty good chance. I don't know if it's the Mrs. Fields.
I'm wondering. Fastball up and in. 3-0 on Castillo. Yasmani Tomas on deck. They got Maeda out of the ball game. Weren't able to do much with him. Only 3 hits, all singles. The Lamb doubled the lead off the inning. Now Castillo ahead, 3 balls and no strikes. He walked him. First 2 have reached in the D-backs 6th.
Hey fans, anytime the D-backs score 5 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations.
Right fielder.
A chance for Yasmani Tomas. He has walked and grounded out. His first at bat against Maeda was very good. He laid off some close pitches, worked a walk. Grounded out on a 2-strike pitch his last time up.
Those 3 games of the Rockies series, and last night against the Dodgers, the Diamondbacks have been hitting .380 with runners in scoring position. Tonight 0 for 4, looking for that first one.
This is the moment. Chased a high fastball, and it's 0-1. Another fastball, another swing and a miss. Yasmani Tomas with runners in scoring position, 8 for his last 19. 2 homers and 14 RBIs, but he's down 0-2. Three fastballs, 3 swings and misses, 1 out.
On that last heater, elevated out over the plate. Tomas comes up empty that time. You know, Fields is one of those guys. He's a max effort on every pitch guy. You would expect to see even more velocity with the delivery that he features out there on the mound, but his fastball consistently in the low to mid 90s.
Well, this is the guy you want up right now. It's Brandon Drury, who has walked and singled. He's had RBIs in 7 straight games, 1 more, and he ties a Diamondbacks record. He's up there with 2 on and 1 out. Gonzo and Goldie, the only 2 players in D-backs history with RBIs in 8 straight games. Fastball's hopping tonight. 0-2.
You mentioned that Brandon Drury's the guy you want up there right now. 8 for his last 14 with runners in scoring position. He's driven in 9 runs in those 14 at bats.
Last major league rookie to have RBIs in 7 straight games was Dodgers third baseman Justin Turner. That was 5 years ago when he was with the Mets. That one gets right by Turner, foul at third. And a great night for Brandon. A walk, a single, a tremendous running, diving catch down the left field line in the 2nd inning. And up in a big spot right here, but down 0-2. Giants are leading the Cardinals 8-1. So the Dodgers need this one. Dave Roberts with expanded September rosters. Now that Maeda's out of the ballgame, is going to keep that bullpen busy all night long. He's got a lot of options back there. We've seen Howell and now Fields. Bullpen is still busy for LA.
Stop me if you've heard this one before, partner, but there's a rain delay in Colorado.
Oh, you're kidding.
Actually, a hail delay.
Yeah, see that? I believe you. Rockies are losing at home to the Padres. San Diego leads that ball game 7-5. Don't forget, it's our Go Gold fundraising broadcast for PCH and fans. We are at $87,000 right now, and with Mr. Kendrick matching every one of your donations, we've raised nearly $175,000 so far. 602-462-3899. Our call center is busy right now, so please keep calling or online dbacks.com/giveback. 0-2 on Brandon Drury. Got him. Boy, that fastball. Diamondbacks, Tomas and Drury just have not been able to catch up to it. And there are 2 outs.
Another one elevated up above the top of the strike zone that time. Really tough to catch up to a mid-90s fastball if it's well located down in the zone. Almost impossible to get on top of that pitch when it's up there above the letters.
Mitch Haniger, a really good at bat against Kenta Maeda his last time up. He took a base on balls. Pitcher spot is up next. Ricky Weeks Jr. comes out with a bat in his hand. And Fields goes to a knuckle curveball, and it's 0-1. Weeks Jr. would bat for Greinke. Steve Hathaway ready in the Diamondback bullpen. The lefty Jock Peterson will lead off the LA 7th. Here's Steve Hathaway, the left-hander. Garvin Alston, the bullpen coach. It'll be Peterson, the pitcher spot, and Utley. 8-9-1 in the LA 7th. Pedro Baez, the right-hander, warming up at the Dodger bullpen. Fastball's a strike, and Haniger's down 1-2. Lamb doubled the lead off the inning. Castillo walked. Tomas struck out. Drury struck out. A ball and 2 strikes on rookie Mitch Haniger. Fly ball very short right for Reddick. First 2 reach in the D-backs 6th, but they're left there. Diamondbacks trail the Dodgers 3-1.
Half of the 7th inning. It's time to take a look back at this day in Major League Baseball history, brought to you by Geico. Curt Schilling picks up his 300th strikeout of the year, joining Randy Johnson, the first teammates to strike out 300 or more hitters in the same season. Boy, was that fun to watch.
I bet. Fun to manage, too. Well, a new pitcher will start the 7th for the Diamondbacks. It's the rookie left-hander Steve Hathaway. 17 appearances, a 5.23 ERA. It is your Arizona Federal Credit Union pitching change. Steve has made 3 appearances since his latest minor league recall, and scoreless baseball every time. Worked last Friday and Sunday against the Giants. He'll face the center fielder Jack Peterson. Pitcher spot due up after that. Yasiel Puig is in the on-deck circle. Bullpen is quiet for the Diamondbacks. They've got the lefty Utley behind Puig. And speaking of pitching here, BB, we need some help from D-backs fans. Right now, J.R. House's Visalia Rawhide are playing game 2 of the Cal League Finals. They're down 1 game to none. They trail the series 0-1. And Peterson lines out to Chris Owings. Right now in the 7th inning in game 2 against High Desert, which is the Texas Rangers Class A affiliate. Visalia's getting no hit. Brett Martin has a no-hitter in the 7th inning against Visalia. So D-backs fans, if you can figure out some kind of jinx, you know, work your mojo as Puig comes up. Maybe we can break the no-no. Visalia needs a win. They're down in game 2. Long walk, and here comes Mike Butcher to talk to Hathaway about how to deal with Yasiel Puig.
Did you notice Jock Peterson had his jaw protector back on?
It's going to go at bat.
Yeah, this at bat against the lefty, you can almost see a little extra protection in case one of those breaking balls strays up and in, but that's a lot to think about and a lot to work on between at bats, where your jaw guard or not.
Well, it just didn't look as cool without it the second time, apparently. So here's Puig. 260 and 10 homers. He struck out as a pinch hitter last night. And then stayed in the ball game. Struck out against Patrick Corbin. Boy, did Patrick look good last night. And they're against another lefty, Hathaway. He misses that one at 0-1. Puig 5 for 19 with 3 home runs since he came back for the minor leagues at the beginning of this month. After he was banished for, well, let's call it behavioral issues, being a bad teammate, a clubhouse problem. But he says that's all behind him now, and he's been a good citizen since he's been back. Off the fist, a roller to Owings at shortstop, and they retire Puig. Nice job there by Steve Hathaway to get the right-hander Puig. And now he'll work to Utley. As the bullpen again gets busy for the Diamondbacks. Randall Delgado has just started throwing down there.
Now, those are big outs for any left-handed reliever. You come into the ball game to face a lefty, and then there's a pinch hitter for that pitcher spot. And of course, you're going to see a right-handed pinch hitter. But then with the lefties that follow, you'd really love Steven to be able to pitch through that right-hander. Roll back around to those lefties at the top.
Well, mission accomplished so far. He's got 2 outs on 5 pitches. You've got lefties Utley and then Seager behind him on deck. Still to go before you get to the right-hand hitting Justin Turner. Shift is on, and there's strike 1. Utley doubled on the first pitch of the ball game against Zach Greinke, and later scored a run. He's 1 for 3. He's got 4 hits in the series. That's foul in front of George Lombard, and that one goes right to the Hick dog. There's Mark Hicks, our Gold Glover, down the right field line. Dr. Van Nostrand, David Van Ness working left field tonight. There's the doctor. 0-2 on Utley. No, he didn't go, Ron Kulpa. Bobby Freeman.
The Billy Preston of the National League West.
Can't get the call on a fastball. 94 from Hathaway, and it's 2-2 on Chase Utley. Steve done a nice job since we've seen him after a very, very rough major league debut at Dodger Stadium, where he got knocked around. Since then, he's pitched really well. That would have been bad.
Just foul.
Right to Dr. Van Nostrand. Oh, Utley just smacks it the other way to left. His second hit tonight, a 2-out single, and now here comes Corey Seager. Seager had no luck at all with Zach Greinke, 2 strikeouts. He did work a walk on a 3-2 pitch his last time up. He'll hit with Utley at first and 2 outs. Seager 315, but he's hitting almost 350 since the All-Star break. The right-hand hitting Justin Turner on deck. Randall Delgado warming up in the bullpen. Lines it. Owings on the short hop. He got it. So nice job by Steve Hathaway. As we stretch at Chase Field, it's a 3-1 ball game. It's our special charity broadcast throughout the ball game tonight as we raise money to benefit Goldie's Fund for Kids and the Center for Cancer and Blood Disorders at Phoenix Children's Hospital. Fans, please donate either $44 or $100. You'll get gifts with each donation. Call 602-462-3899 or go online at dbacks.com/giveback. We'll be taking your donations throughout the game broadcast tonight. That's the commemorative items that you get with the $100 donation. So far we have raised $115,000 plus $100,000 for Mr. Kendrick, so we're up to $215,000. But fans, we only have 200 of the $100 package items available. There's only 200 left, so that's 200 Goldie bobbleheads. That's a special bobblehead you can only get here. Only 200 of the Go Gold Goldie t-shirts that Paul designed with Debbie Castaldo. Those are one-of-a-kind items, and we're down to our final 200 of each, so please call now or log on. Phil Gosselin will face the new pitcher for the Dodgers, the right-hander Pedro Baez. Gosselin hits for the pitcher Hathaway. Baez, a 3.38 ERA, his 67th appearance of the year. Gosselin down 0-2. All the money goes to benefit sick children and their families who are at Phoenix Children's Hospital. And there is the sandlot, PCH sandlot here at the ballpark. Always a favorite hangout for the kiddies when they're at the ball game. Gosselin 278, 2 home runs. He singled as a pinch hitter Wednesday to complete that sweep of the Rockies.
Rick Monday told us another funny story about Pedro Baez before the first game of this series. Said when Baez made it to the major leagues, several of the coaches on the staff told him, you know, the biggest adjustment is going to be slowing the game down. You hear that all the time, slow the game down. Well, Baez took it literally. He was going to the rosin bag between every pitch, walking around the mound. He didn't quite grasp the idea that slowing the game down just meant the pace of the game and your involvement in it needed to slow down as he strikes out Gosselin to start the inning. So working at a much better pace recently.
We're just dotted a 97-mile-an-hour fastball there.
Second baseman, Jake Segura.
Rick was saying that when Pedro Baez first got to the major leagues a couple years ago, he threw 30 pitches in 30 minutes. Slowing the game down.
Lost in translation. Gene Segura 1 for 3 with a single in the third. D-backs have had their chances. They had bases loaded in the second. Zach Greinke was the hitter. He had a line drive that Peterson ran down in left center. And then in the last inning, Lamb doubled and Castillo walked to lead off the sixth, but then that was it. So they've had some opportunities to tie the ball game, but still trailing 3-1. Segura knocks that one down the right field line, and it's fair. Good job by Reddick over there to cut it off, but Segura's in there with a double. His 37th double and his second hit tonight.
Stayed inside that ball nicely, shoots it down that right field line. Josh Reddick, a huge defensive improvement out there in right field, gets to the ball in good shape, got off a strong throw, but Segura in there at second base with 1 out in the inning.
So Segura chasing 200 hits. He's at 184 right now, leading the national league.
184 hits, ties him with Aaron Hill on the all-time D-back season hits list with 184. Aaron did it back in the 2012 season.
Well, here's another chance for the Diamondbacks. They've got Segura at second, 1 out. The big boys coming up. Owings and Goldie, CO 0 for 3 so far. Chris Owings, over his last 16 games, is hitting better than .350 with 9 extra base hits. Giants still leading the Cardinals 8-2. They're in the 6th inning at AT&T Park. Giants 4 back. Little roller, Turner in front of Seager. Throws out Owings as Segura moves up. That's the second out.
Nice effort there by Gene Segura to disrupt that play. He actually almost came to a complete stop between second and third to get in front of that baseball and try to screen Justin Turner a little bit.
Well, it's been a tough night for Goldie. 0 for 3, couple of strikeouts against Maeda. Now he'll face Baez with Segura at third and 2 down. 5-game hit streak on the line for Paul. As we said, bullpen will stay busy. Dayton, the left-hander, Joe Blanton, the veteran righty, who's been so good on the Dodger pen all year long. Diamondbacks have 2 relievers warming up in their pen as well, a lefty and a righty. Strike 1 to Goldie. Escobar and Delgado, I think, down here. Baez can just fire away with 97 and 98 down and away to right-hand hitters. That's a tough at bat.
As tough as an at bat as this can be, Diamondbacks need to do something here and in the 8th inning, because we know what is waiting in the 9th if the score stays the way it is.
The big fella, Kenley Jansen. 1-1 to Goldie. Hales Ball Club trying to win 5 in a row at Chase Field for the first time in more than 3 years. Goldie strikes out for the 3rd time tonight. Got a hard slider there. And Baez strands the 1-out double.
Fans, tonight's attendance is 28.
For our Chaz Roberts Air Conditioning and Plumbing Cool plays of the game.
Yeah, for a guy that's really just learning the position out there, Brandon Drury with a great running, diving slide into foul territory. Howie Kendrick with a long foul pop-up down the right field line. Yasmani with a great sliding catch right up against the wall.
And now the new pitcher for the Diamondbacks to start the top of the 8th inning is the right-hander Randall Delgado.
Number 48.
Randall's 70 appearances. His previous career high had been 64. That was last year. A 4.26 ERA. He worked a scoreless inning in relief of Ruby De La Rosa Wednesday and then over the Rockies. And Chip Hale had talked about Randall because he's been so effective for the most part this year, pitching some more high leverage late game situations. And here he is in a game against the Dodgers out to start the 8th inning. He'll face Justin Turner, who had an RBI triple in the first. He's 1 for 3. Well, Justin Turner, when he signed with the Dodgers before the 2014 season, he was a guy who was just going to be a piece. He was likely a part-time player. He'd fill in different spots around the infield. Kind of like he did with the Mets. He was there for 4 years. And he had never hit more than 4 home runs in a season. And his first year in LA, kind of played all over like they thought he would, but he wound up hitting .340. And then the power started showing up. 16 homers and 60 RBIs last year. This year, 27 home runs and 82 runs batted in. It's a little roller to shortstop for Owings. So Turner, who was supposed to be just sort of a utility infielder, is leading the Dodgers in homers and RBIs here a few years later, and he's been very cost effective. He's only making about $5 million this year.
Yeah, not quite to the same level, but kind of the same career arc. Jose Bautista, who was a utility infielder with the Pittsburgh Pirates, played all over the field, got sporadic at bats, and when given an opportunity to be an everyday player, all of a sudden he's one of the best power hitters in the game.
Edwin Escobar coming in to face Adrian Gonzalez. We'll take a break from Chase Field. He's already made 8 September appearances. He worked to one batter Wednesday in the win over the Rockies. Gave up a Carlos Gonzalez RBI single. On this homestand, he's pitched twice against the Giants, twice against Colorado. Now he's on to face the left-hand hitting Adrian Gonzalez with 1 out in the 8th inning of a 3-1 ball game. D-backs have the shift on. Gonzalez has walked, singled, scored a run. He's 1 for 2. Tries it the other way. Brandon Drury is there near the line, and Edwin Escobar gets his man. That's the second out. Now you've got the switch hitter, Yasmani Grandal. They'll flip him around. The left-hand side is his power side, so this works out for Chip Hale. He'll hit right-handed against the lefty Escobar. Grandal 0 for 3 tonight. Got that shoulder clenched.
It's unusual for a switch hitter to be nearly identical from one side to the other, but he does the same thing. He hunches up his shoulders and then tucks, in this case, the left one underneath his chin as he starts his stride into the pitch.
Yeah, it really is a mirror image. Grandal, like a lot of the key Dodgers bats on this long road trip, has been pretty quiet, as we talked about at the top of the broadcast. Counting tonight his last 10 games, he's only 4 for 32 up there. 0 for 3 tonight. Steve Hathaway did a very good job working the 7th. And Chip Hale going with Delgado and Escobar to try and get through the 8th inning. And as part of our special Go Gold broadcast to raise money for Phoenix Children's Hospital tonight, quick pitch, fastball missed. And so we want to warn you, fans, as we are in the just about the middle of the 8th inning here, we only have less than 100 packages left. The special Goldie bobblehead, the special Go Gold t-shirt, these are one-of-a-kind items. Cannot buy these anywhere. The Goldie photographic print, the bottle of Chase Field Dirt, and the autographed mystery ball by a D-backs player. Fewer than 100 packages left, so call now, 602-462-3899. And Edwin Escobar comes in, gets 2 outs. Nice job by the D-backs bullpen tonight. They need some offense, down 3-1. Field. Roof and panels open. Should be open tomorrow night as well. What's next? Brought to you by CenturyLink. Game 3 of the 4-game set. And a pitching change for LA. Bud Norris was supposed to start this ball game, but the Dodgers announced very late this afternoon that Brock Stewart will get the baseball. Against Shelby Miller. That's David Peralta bobblehead day here tomorrow night, fans. A 5:10 start. The Dodgers and the D-backs. Get your tickets at dbacks.com. First 20,000 fans at the ballpark with us tomorrow night get the David Peralta bobblehead, courtesy of Ram Trucks. New pitcher for the Dodgers is the left-hander Grant Dayton. He's going to start the 8th inning against Jake Lamb. Dayton this year, the lefties against him are only 3 for 31.
Man, video game numbers for Dayton. 22 innings pitched, 32 strikeouts, only 6 walks. Opponents batting 118 against the Dodger lefty.
Well, fans, we've raised $140,000. That's all you D-backs fans. In our Go Gold broadcast, we have a number of callers on hold, and we are, I'm told, out of everything. Just about. We are sold out of everything. So the Diamondback fans, BB, stepped up big time. They cleaned us out, which was exactly what we were hoping for.
Yeah, don't they always? Diamondbacks fans are the best.
So we're out of Goldie bobbleheads. We're out of the special Go Gold t-shirts. These are one-of-a-kind items. And we can't thank you enough, Diamondback fans, and our thanks as well to Mr. Kendrick, who wrote an enormous check today to all benefit to PCH, Goldie's Fun for Kids, and the Center for Cancer and Blood Disorders at Phoenix Children's Hospital. Diamondback fans always step up. 1-1 on Jake Lamb.
As Debbie Castaldo said earlier, they raise more money every year, and it's really needed, fans, because PCH saw a 20% growth in patients from 2014 to 2015, and they expect it to jump another 10% this year. So a lot of kids out there could really use your help.
Jake had a double off lefty J.P. Howell to lead off the 6th inning. And now he's up against another lefty here, Dayton, to start the 8th. Each team with 5 hits. D-backs trailing 3-1. She's got her Lambs ready to go.
Hey, your plea for the break up the no-no mojo worked.
I saw that. Nice. We're on a roll tonight.
Whatever it takes. I know a lot of fans sitting at home have their rabbit's foot or lucky horseshoe or petting the dog. Whatever it is you do when the D-backs score runs, do it now.
Called strike 3. So Dayton gets his man. Here comes Dave Roberts with the right hand hitting Wellington Castillo coming up. He'll go back to his bullpen.
Well off the plate away right there. That's a good take. Unfortunately, he gets penalized for it.
Chris Conroy missed one clearly. Back from Chase Field in just a moment. Blanton Castillo will be the hitter. Here's the veteran righty Joe Blanton, who's done a really good job in the Dodger bullpen all year long. This is his 70th appearance, and he's got an ERA under 2.5. Scoreless relief in 18 of his last 20 games. You see that opponent batting average 184. That is top 10 in the National League.
Now pitching number 55, Joe Blanton.
So Blanton to face Castillo.
Now batting, catcher.
Blanton has single walk, scored a run. He's 1 for 2. Welly on the latest issue of D-Backs Insider. He's the cover photo. Hashtag beef mode. Having a strong finish to the year at the plate. Really started turning around for Welly first week of August when he put together an 8-game hitting streak. And over his last 22 games since August 3rd, he's hit .326. 28 RBIs in his last 22 games, but looking for a base runner right here, ahead 2-0. 3 balls and no strikes. Bullpen now quiet for LA. Dodgers in the 9th will have Reddick, Kendrick, Peterson 6, 7, and 8. And Castillo's aboard, a 1-out walk. His second walk tonight. And the batter is Yasmani Tomas. Tomas came up in the 6th, 2-on, nobody out, and struck out against Fields. He walked against Maeda. He's 0 for 2 tonight. Tying run at the plate, 1 out, bottom of the 8th. Let's see if Yasmani can get into one right here against Joe Blanton. 0-1. That one caught Yasmani Grandal in a bad spot.
Yeah, we've talked about those extensions he wears on both shoulders. Normally a catcher just wears it on his receiving shoulder and leaves that throwing arm free to move, but you can see Grandal with protection on both shoulders.
Trainers came running out and he waved them off. They know how much that shoulder was a problem. Had to have surgery in the offseason. They thought he might have a torn labrum in there, but instead it was just an AC joint, so that was a break for him. And he's had the power stroke back this year at the plate. So Tomas down 0-2. Brandon Drury on deck. He's walked and singled tonight, but still looking for an RBI. Trying to tie a Diamondback record. Well, there's going to be no appeal. Chris Conroy behind the plate says strike 3.
Unfortunately, I think he got it right.
Left fielder, Brandon Drury.
So it's up to Brandon Drury. He has walked, singled, and struck out. RBIs in 7 straight games. One more, and he ties a Diamondback record shared by Luis Gonzalez and Paul Goldschmidt. Brandon's single in the 4th extended his hitting streak to 8 straight games. during which he's batting over .480. Last 8 games, 3 doubles, 4 home runs, and 9 RBIs for Brandon Drury. Rondal watches that one pop up, and Castillo hustles into second. It rolls away, but Seager is there to back up. Wild pitch charged to Joe Blanton. And a 2-out count on Drury. Well, Brandon's got his RBI chance right here, and he's ahead of the count.
Against Joe Blanton, that's no guarantee you're going to get a fastball on a 2-0 count. This is another guy that's kind of reinvented himself. Throws a lot of breaking balls out of that Dodger bullpen. Slider down low and away.
3-0. Mitch Haniger on deck.
Slider.
You were right. Base on balls. So the Diamondbacks have the tying runs aboard, and here comes Haniger, who had a 3-run home run in the ball game last night, his second career big league homer.
Center fielder.
And he is the go-ahead run at the plate with 2 outs in the 8th inning. Drury aboard for the 3rd time tonight. Mitch 0 for 2. He's hit safely in 4 straights. He's off a slider for ball 1. Pitcher spot up next. Ricky Weeks Jr. back out there in the on-deck circle. Wellington Castillo at second. Brandon Drury the tying run at first. Fastball's a strike, and it's 1-1. There's that 2-seamer from Blanton. Gonzalez sneaking into first base behind Drury. Now he backs off. Haniger fouls that one back, and it's 1-2. Diamondbacks have not been able to take advantage of their opportunities. They had bases loaded in the 2nd. They have 2 on, nobody out in the 6th. And 2 on, 2 outs in the 4th. And a 1-out double in the 7th. But still just 1 run. No, he didn't. That's Jerry Meals, the crew chief down there. And Haniger's back even, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And that's when you hold your breath on. It was very close. Haniger on that check swing. Not to make eye contact with the umpire.
Jock Peterson very deep in center field. Spits on a fastball, and it's a full count, 3-2. Runners will be in motion. Anything in the gap could tie the ball game, with Castillo at second and Drury at first. The 3-2 pitch to Mitch Haniger. There go the runners, and the bases are loaded for Ricky Weeks Jr. 3rd walk in the inning issued by Joe Blanton. And he's loaded the bases. Bullpen still quiet for the Dodgers. And Ricky Weeks Jr. will hit for Edwin Escobar. 244 and 9 homers. He's got Wellington Castillo at third. Brandon Drury the tying run at second, and Mitch Haniger is the go-ahead run at first. Rick Honeycutt out to the mound.
One thing we know is Ricky Weeks Jr. is due against Joe Blanton. He's 0 for 12 lifetime, including 3 strikeouts. That can't go on.
Well, it's been slow going for Ricky at the plate as of late as Chris Conroy breaks this one up. Ricky 3 for his last 17 up there with 10 strikeouts.
Yeah, with the expanded rosters, you got some guys you want to take a look at. And guys that are legitimate outfielders. Yeah, Ricky's done a nice job when asked to go out there in left field, but obviously not his natural position, not where he's comfortable.
And the at-bats haven't been nearly as frequent as they were earlier this year with guys like Jensen and Haniger and everybody up here. So here we go. Bases full of D-backs and 2 outs, and he fouls that one back. The first pitch slider from Blanton in its own way. Ricky's 64 plate appearances as a pinch hitter this year. He's batting .173. It's it to shortstop for Seager. It's a high hop, and they go to second for the force on Haniger. Diamondbacks leave them loaded. We go to the 9th. It's 3-1. Field, D-backs trail the Dodgers 3-1. Our Gila River game summary. The 2 starting pitchers, Kenta Maeda and Zach Greinke. Greinke did the best he could here. Walked 4. He was kind of in trouble the whole night, Bob, but he did a pretty good job of limiting the damage.
I saw a different side of Zach Greinke tonight. Went with a lot more breaking pitches. We mentioned that the Dodgers kind of ambushed him at Dodger Stadium in that start there. Jumping on first pitch fastballs, second pitch fastballs. So today he just wasn't throwing a lot of fastballs.
A ton of curveballs from Greinke. The bullpen has been outstanding in relief. Hathaway, Delgado, and Escobar. Now here's Jake Barrett. You see the ERA for Jake down to 3.67 in 65 appearances. He'll face Josh Reddick to lead off the LA ninth. And the shift is on. Jake Barrett has been really impressive as of late. His last 4 outings have all been 1, 2, 3 1-inning appearances. He pitched Friday and Sunday against the Giants, and then Monday and Wednesday in wins over the Rockies. 1-1 on Reddick. Last 10 appearances for Jake Barrett. He's worked 9 2/3 innings and given up only 1 hit. He has been really good lately. Fastball is a strike, and he's ahead 1-2. Reddick walked in the fourth. He's 0 for 2. He's hit safely in 10 of his last 13 games. Hard sliders in the dirt, and it's 2-2. Reddick 36 games with LA since the trade from Oakland. And although he's picked it up lately, he still hasn't done a whole lot at all. He's hit just .225 as a Dodger with 1 home run.
Well, one thing Reddick does bring to the table for the Dodgers is a little stability defensively in right field, running the bases, throwing to the right base, not throwing the ball over the backstop, trying to get a runner that you have no business trying to throw out.
Well, they've created kind of a platoon out there in right field between Reddick and Puig. Puig will start against a lefty. Chip Hale came out of the dugout to make sure Wellington Castillo was okay, and well, he waved him off.
Yeah, just a flesh wound. Looked like that pitch in the dirt caught Welly on the inside of the thigh. That's going to leave a mark.
2-2 on Reddick. Howie Kendrick on deck. Reddick, Kendrick, and Peterson 6, 7, and 8 here in the Dodger ninth. D-backs will have the top of the order in the home half. Segura, Owings, and Goldie. Giants are leading the Cardinals in San Francisco. That game's now in the 8th inning. And the Giants lead St. Louis 8-2. They are 4 back of the Dodgers with 16 to play. Shallow left center. Chris Owings drifting out there, and he's got it.
Left fielder Howie Kendrick.
1 down for Howie Kendrick. Kendrick singled in the second. He's only hit in the series. His bat has really stalled lately. He's hitting under 190 in his last 25 games. Good slider from Barrett, 0-1.
The Giants put 8 on the board tonight against St. Louis. They lead at 8-2 in the top of the 8th inning. You get the feeling that either the Giants or the Dodgers, whichever one gets their offense going first, has the best chance of reaching that finish line. Giants haven't been swinging it particularly well lately either.
Yeah, the Dodgers offense been very quiet on this 10-game road trip. Tonight just 3 runs on 5 hits. And Jake Barrett with a hard fastball rings up Kendrick.
Center field, Jock Peterson.
Jake Barrett just doesn't look like the same guy that we saw about a month ago when he was really struggling just to get the ball close to the strike zone.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It really is. I'm not sure if it was a mechanical change or a mental change, but he's just powering that ball down to the bottom of the strike zone now.
Well, this would be his 5th consecutive 1-2-3 1-inning appearance if he can retire Jock Peterson, who is 0 for 2 with an intentional walk. He's pretty much given up on the face guard, apparently. I guess it doesn't look as cool as it used to. Said it made him look like Brian Urlacher, so he liked it. Had it in his first at bat tonight after debuting it last night, and after that he's gone without it. Pitcher spot is up next for the Dodgers, and pesky Andrew Toles is in the on-deck circle. He had a pinch hit double last night, scored a run. Rule 5 pick they acquired from Tampa Bay in the offseason. He's had a great year.
I know he had a very impressive batting practice today. That's for sure. Toles.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Almost hit the truck, right?
Yeah, he very nearly hit the Dodge Ram truck out there in deep right field behind the bleachers. Landed just 2 rows short of the truck. That's a long way out there.
Barrett being maybe a little too careful with Peterson. It's 3-0. But you're advised to be careful against this guy. 6 home runs against the Diamondbacks this year. There's a strike, and it's 3-1. "11 games against the D-backs going into tonight. Jock Peterson, 6 homers and 10 RBIs. Hold on there, Jock. That's a strike. It's 3-2.
Well, that was a good pitch. The 3-0 pitch probably a little off the outside corner. Got the automatic strike call. Then comes right back on 3-1 and just dots that outside corner at the knees.
There's the 3-2 timeout. Rick Monday, you're the man. Rick told us last year, watch, every time Peterson gets to a full count 3-2, he'll call timeout. And he's still doing it. Automatic. This could be tricky. Drury getting over there, and he's got it. Another 1-2-3 relief effort from Jake Barrett. Diamondbacks down 2 at the top of the order coming up in the bottom of the 9th. Will lead it off for the Diamondbacks, who trail the Dodgers 3-1. But they'll have to make a comeback against one of the best in the business, the big man Kenley Jansen. 9 consecutive scoreless appearances, a 1.72 ERA. And as you can see, 44 saves on the year. That is second most in the National League. That ties a career high, and he's on to try and close out a 3-1 ball game. It'll be Segura, Owings, and Goldie 1, 2, and 3. Another good night for Segura, a single and a double. He's 2 for 4. And we want to congratulate All our D-backs fans, all of you who donated tonight in our special Go Gold for Phoenix Children's Hospital broadcast. Our fans raised $150,000. Mr. Kendrick has written a check for $100,000. So our thanks to him. So we raised tonight, BB, $250,000 for Goldie's Fun for Kids and the Center for Cancer and Blood Disorders at PCH. $250,000.
Tip of the cap for tremendous job once again, Diamondbacks fans. Couldn't be for a better cause.
You cleaned us out. We sold out all our T-shirts, all our Goldie bobbleheads, all the photo prints. We sold out of the dirt.
All out of dirt.
We're out of dirt. We're dirt poor. 2-1.
It's a lot of pizzas too.
Oh, that's free pizza in there.
Thanks to Papa John's. Usually not a lot of reason for optimism when Kenley Jansen is on the mound for the Dodgers, but the last 2 seasons here at Chase Field, he's pitched in 7 ball games, totaled a total of 7 innings, and has an ERA of 7.71.
There's the cutter. That's his pitch. 2-2. Looking for base runners. Full count on Segura to lead off the 9th. Owings on deck. Goldschmidt in the hole. Owings and Goldie tonight both 0 for 4. They've combined to strike out 5 times. The 3-2 to Gene Segura.
A little pep talk there as he walks around that right-handed batter's box, waiting for the next delivery from Kenley Jansen. He's looking to break through. 0 for 5 lifetime against the Dodger closer.
Well, now would be the perfect time. In the air, right field for Reddick. 1 out. Owings 0 for 4. Don't forget, fans, 2 more games remaining in this homestand. 5:10 start tomorrow against these Dodgers. David Peralta bobblehead night. First 20,000 fans with us in the ballpark tomorrow get the Peralta bobble courtesy of Ram Trucks. Get your tickets at dbacks.com. Come on out tomorrow night. 0-2 on CO. We are efforting to talk to the freight train during the ball game tomorrow on his bobblehead now, recovering from wrist surgery.
Rare slider that time from Kenley Jansen. Usually he's all cutters, occasional 4-seamer, but that time rolled a slider out there off the plate away.
0-2, figured what the heck. Shelby Miller gets the baseball tomorrow. Game 3 of the 4-game set. Our final look at the Dodgers in 2016. The 1-2 to Chris Owings. CO drives one to center. And it's off the base of the wall. Chris Owings takes the turn and heads for third, and he is in there. Well, Chris Owings hit a ball in the gap a couple of games ago. It was initially ruled an error. They changed that to a triple, and so he adds to his total right here. It was a scoring change for the last series against the Giants.
Safely gets to third base, but then slips off the bag momentarily. Looked like he was able to get back on before Turner applied the tag.
Dodgers are taking a look. It's a triple for Owings. And the D-backs have the tying run at the plate with one out. It's Goldie. Boy, he is just killing the ball lately. Chris Owings leading the majors in triples. Goldie 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts tonight. Hard cutter at 95, and it's 0-1. He has homered off Jansen before. If you're just flipping over from the ASU game, the Sun Devils hung on against Texas San Antonio. That was close. 32-28. Diamondbacks have the tying run at the plate, down 3-1, bottom 9, 1 out. After the Owings triple, it's a 1-1 count on Goldie, who was 0 for 4 tonight. D-backs have out-hit the Dodgers 6-5, but they trail it 3-1. Goldie drives one right center. Jock Peterson runs it down. Owings will tag, and it's 3-2. The RBI for Goldschmidt. But the Diamondbacks are down to their final out.
Might have had a chance off the bat. That cutter working away from Goldie, stayed on it. Just a little short out there in the gap in right center.
It'll be Jake Lamb. Jake doubled in the 6th against the lefty J.P. Howell. He's 1 for 4. Dodgers have the shift on. You see Turner, the third baseman, out there in short right field. Utley back on the grass at second. And Seager all by himself, the shortstop, on the left-hand side. Jake has had a flair for the dramatic in the 9th inning this year, so here's another moment for him. He's ahead 1-0. As Monty Grandal wants the cutter up, and Lamb swings through it. Took a little bit off. He can throw that cutter at 95. Just took a smidge off that one, and he got the strike. Now they've changed the count. Now it's 0-2 on Lamb. Sure I've ever seen a catcher set up that far outside. Grandal wanted that one nowhere near the strike zone. And why would you add 0-2?
That's where Javier Lopez used to set up for Greg Maddux and Tom Glavine back in the day when that was a strike.
And get the call, yeah. A ball and 2 strikes. Save for Jansen would be his 45th, the new career high. Out of play. Diamondback Live post-game show follows our ball game. Giants still playing in San Francisco where they lead the Cardinals 8-2. Giants 4 back of the Dodgers with only 16 to play. Diamondbacks trying to play spoiler, but they need a base runner. Rondell wants this pitch up. Jake fouls it off. There's that 95-mile-an-hour cut. And it stays 1-2 on Jake Lamb. Castillo on deck. He would be next. D-backs trying to win 5 in a row at home for the first time in more than 3 years. August of 2013. Into the shift. Turner, the third baseman, is there, and the Dodgers even the series at a game apiece. They hang on and win it 3-2. Diamondbacks out hit LA 6-5. They had lots of chances in this one. 7 walks issued by LA pitchers, but Kenta Maeda hangs on, and the Dodgers get the win 3-2.
4 innings in the game where the Diamondbacks left 2 or more runners on base. Maeda was just really good when he had to be tonight. Wasn't his sharpest outing we've seen from Kenta Maeda, but made big pitches when he needed them.
And again, our thanks to all our D-backs fans out there. $150,000 raised tonight on our Go Gold charity broadcast, all to help Goldie's Fund for Kids and the Cancer Center for Blood Disorders at Phoenix Children's Hospital. Another $100,000 from Mr. Kendrick, so $250,000 raised tonight to help sick children and their families. Thank you so much, Diamondback fans everywhere. Let's turn it over to Todd Walsh and get this Diamondback Live post-game show underway. Todd.
Steve, thank you. It is underway in a matter of moments. And Joe Borowski, I guess I'm just going to say this. I know the Diamondbacks lost. That's tough to swallow right now. It ends a 4-game winning streak, but I think there's a big victory here, a much bigger victory. And you know what? Operators are still standing by. I know the product is gone in terms of what we will give away if you were going to make a donation, but you know what? If you were still so inclined, as long as you and I are on the air, they'll be taking donations. Okay, so let's do that. We'll take a short break. We'll come back and our post-game show will begin. We'll talk about how the Diamondbacks fell to the Dodgers tonight. Frustrating in terms of offense, clearly, as Bob Brenly just detailed, with having multiple runners on base in multiple innings and coming up with nothing. A couple of great defensive plays and corner positions in the outfield here tonight. We'll talk about the pitching of Zach Greinke with Bob Brenly. Chip Hale will hear from, plus Jody Jackson inside the Diamondbacks clubhouse. Diamondbacks Live, presented by CenturyLink, is coming up in just moments.